Jimmy Fields, thanks for coming down for Going Again with Andrew and Randy.
Yes, sir. Very
Thanks,
excited
guys.
to have
I'm
you.
glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a long time coming. We've been waiting for you, and I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm only 21, so don't worry about it.
Okay, no worries. We have lots of time. So people have to know, you and I have known each other for what? Close to 5 decades? 4?
Sheesh.
4.5?
Yeah, about 40 years.
Yeah, easily 40 years.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah.
Man,
And just so people know, Jimmy Fields is a professional kickboxing trainer, boxing trainer, black belt in karate. Where are you from originally?
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yes.
Is every answer you're going to give one word?
No, not at all.
Oh, awesome. Look at that. It was a sentence.
there we go.
It was just a direct question and a direct answer.
Absolutely. No, hey, Jim. So you and I go back so far. It's crazy. So you're from Toronto.
Yes.
What did you do what brought you here?
What brought me here was I was in Toronto training, and like usual, people come to me.
Right.
So Leo Laux lived in London.
Okay.
I lived in Toronto. So we needed a place to train. So we decided to drive halfway. He came from London to Kitchener. I came from from Toronto to Kitchener. And Ron?
Oh, just a minute. So that's how that worked?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never known that.
That's how we originally worked it. And then finally, I kept getting more and more guys.
Right.
So then I moved from Toronto to Kitchener.
Where were you training in Toronto? You said you were fortunate.
I was always very fortunate because Monty Guest, who had a karate club on Eglinton Avenue,
Yeah.
because I wasn't training anywhere at the time, but I had several students that we used to train. So he let me use his gym.
It's very kind of Monty.
So I used to go there and train there with, actually 3 people. There was Vince Catrazola, Lynn Kalper, and Bill Best, those 3.
Now, was that kickboxing or karate?
That was actually started as karate, but I sort of innovated boxing into my karate.
Right.
So from there, what happened, we trained there for a while. Then I went to Willowdale Avenue, Mick and Martin's club.
Okay.
Trained there. So they gave me a key, and they said, go and use it anytime you want.
Michael and Martin McNamara, Kung Fu twins from Toronto.
Yeah.
Hugely famous.
Yeah, so I used their gym for quite some time.
Wow.
And, I was always very fortunate. I always had a place to train. People always gave me a place. I don't know why, but I guess maybe it's because I didn't do it as a business. I just did it as a hobby.
Yeah, but you're also a sweet guy. Like, you're a great guy.
No, I'm not.
Listen, don't spread the rumors. Maybe it's me that's spreading the rumor. Jim's a great guy.
No, but,
so did you study with Masaroka?
well, I studied. The first person I studied was a gentleman by the name of Bill Melbourne.
Okay.
Then I went to Shinagashi. Then I went to Benny Allen.
Okay, yep.
And then I went to Soroka's because he was the only person who trained during the daytime
Okay.
at the time. After that, I went back to Benny Allen, and I stayed there for the rest of the time that I did karate.
Okay, awesome. I have a really great picture. Can I put it up?
Whatever.
Yeah. It's a picture of you. You have hair. Lots of it.
Well, I still got lots. All in the wrong place. Yeah, so that's what happened, eh? And when I went to Mick and Martin's, I actually went with Vince Catrazola and Lynn, and then Kenny Clark, who was training with Mick,
Yeah, I know
came
Kenny.
to train with us.
Oh, Trip.
So I had the 3 of them. And then what happened was I ended up managing a bar in Aurora, Ontario.
Okay.
So I moved there. So Kenny Clark used to drive from Toronto, pick me up, drive me back to Toronto, then drive me home, and then go back again, like 4 times in a day.
That's dedication.
Yeah. So, and that's how it really began. And then I just collected more and more people.
Okay, so most people back then, this is back in the 70s? Or
Yeah,
late?
it would be around 74.
Yeah, so most people back in 74, they were still really into the kung fu craze with Bruce Lee having passed away in '73. What made you? Were you a boxer? Did you box?
I boxed as a kid at Lansdowne AC.
Oh, okay. So that was the influence that brought boxing to
Yeah,
the
and
karate.
plus I was a very avid boxing fan
Right.
at the time.
Okay.
And we had no, in kickboxing, there was nobody really, no trainers. Nobody who really did
nobody was
anything.
doing it.
Yeah. So you had to take, like what I did is I took the boxing skills and the kicking skills
You
from
had to mix
karate
it.
and combined them.
Okay.
You know, that's exactly how.
Yeah, but what you were doing there was ahead of your time because no one was doing that.
No. There was very few kickboxing clubs at all.
Right.
You didn't have much of a choice.
You either boxed or you did karate or kung fu
Yeah.
or whatever.
And then kickboxing came and it caught on with like Mick and Martin. They were really promoting it.
Right. Yeah. Well, those
So they
two guys.
did all that. And then Ron promoted a lot of shows in Kitchener area in London.
Yes.
So I
The
was
late great Ron Day.
Yeah, I was fortunate because I was never into the political end of it. I only did the training and I loved it. And I let them look after all the
course.
political stuff. I
100%.
didn't care.
Like the promotion.
Yeah, promotions or managing.
Totally.
I just did the training.
Right. So were you accepted by the martial arts community at the time in the '70s by introducing boxing, or were you somewhat of a?
No, I don't think any. See, I never cared. I never thought about what other people were thinking.
Right.
Because I've always known that a lot of people who criticize you have never done what you've done. So they're looking, when you're on your way up, they all love you. When you get to the top, a lot of them are waiting for you to fall.
Right.
So to me, it didn't matter because it's the only thing in my life that we could fight today, and tomorrow was another day, and I didn't worry about what happened the day before,
100%.
which, I didn't dwell on. I just moved on.
Yeah, I'm just looking at martial arts purists, like karate people would put boxing down.
No,
blah,
because
blah, blah.
I knew a lot of the people in the martial arts because I started when I was the youngest kid in my karate club when I started at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by 74, like I was in my 20s. Well, in my 20s, So I grew up in karate. I still love karate. I think it's a tremendously good sport.
Yeah.
I don't like the sport karate, but that's my opinion only.
Right. I understand.
The traditional aspect of it, the forms and that, I really enjoy it. Takes real skill.
So what's the sport? Everything becomes a sport. I understand that, but
I can't really say because everything evolves.
Mm-hmm.
It evolves as time goes on. Like when I did kickboxing, I did a lot of things that nobody was doing at the time. But if you look today, everybody's doing it.
Right.
right.
And it's even grown into the MMA stuff.
Yeah.
And
But when something transfers into sport, is that because they're looking for recognition, awards, money, or something, or is it, or do we stick to tradition because? Well, we move on from like the tradition. Why is that?
that's an interesting question.
I used to always think that people that ran karate tournaments, it was their bonus because a lot of them didn't make a lot of money during the year.
True
So
enough.
when they ran a karate tournament, it was a bonus for them.
They made some cash.
Yeah. So I never really complained about that because you got to remember, in most karate clubs, you turn the lights on and it's playing. The cash register's going. You've got to pay for that time. And when you turn them off at night, it's 24 hours. It's
Fucking
not
right.
12.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
24. You're paying for all the downtime. And it's not an easy business.
No.
You can be very successful at it if you work at it.
But see,
So-
but it's not an easy business. Therefore, you got passion building something, and then when you make it a sport, the passion kind of leaves.
Well,
and-
it becomes a
To
business.
some degree. I think it's probably due to the business that you created a sport so that you can do that tournament and, get some notoriety and
But
make
it's-
some cash on the day.
But it's retention also because most people don't want to do the form. They don't want to do the self-defense techniques. Because they find it boring. So you got to make it a little excited for them.
Right.
So they learn to
Give 'em a
spar.
reason.
And as the sparring evolves, because the people are intelligent, the guys that become very good at the sport, they change the technique to make it work for them.
Yeah, of course.
So they get further away from what I believe is the technical aspect of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Like when I see a guy throw a lunge punch, and he sort of runs forward, and they give him a point, I look and I go, "Oh, that's not right,"
Why is that not right? Tell me.
because no balance.
Okay.
You're just throwing your weight forward.
I see. So if he didn't land that, there's no point. Well,
No, you don't have to land as long as it looks like you score,
yeah.
Right.
because it's
This is a non-contact
Yeah,
karate
not-
tournament type stuff.
I see.
well,
Okay.
it's interesting how they do it today. Like you take Mike Bernardo in London,
Right.
very good martial artist.
Incredible.
You see a lot of these young guys. There's a lot of people that I don't know. It's like kickboxing. There's so many different. Thai boxing is very popular in this area here. Mm-hmm. It's good sport. Well, yeah, it is a sport, Thai boxing.
Sure.
But you see more and more people generating towards it as time goes on. For me, I just like doing it. Good technique leads to good cheating.
You're going to have to explain that one.
Okay. When you have good technique, you can alter it. If you got bad technique, you can't alter it. It just gets further away from what you're doing.
Right. It's like anything. You have to know the rules in order to break them.
It's like this. I'm technically, I like to think of myself as very sound and very basic. And that's what people say, "Oh, you're basic." Yeah, but it wins.
Yeah.
In boxing, my favorite boxing, it was Roy Jones. You could never teach anyone to fight like Roy Jones. It's instinctive. He didn't have perfect. His technique wasn't what I call perfect, but he was quick thinking. He's athletic. He did things that he shouldn't do and get away with them. But you couldn't teach anybody to do that. It's God gifted.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Would you put Martin Friolet in that category, that it's God gifted?
No,
No?
definitely not.
No, but he trained like crazy.
When you talk about someone like him, I always say this. He's the one person who I trained went further with less than anybody I ever trained.
Right. To my knowledge, he never studied martial arts.
No, 25 years old is when he started. Mm-hmm. So that's ancient.
Yeah.
That's like you're on the backside of your career.
I remember when he came in the club.
And, but he was really dedicated, because I think it was really the first thing that gave him self-awareness, pride in himself.
Yes.
And he fought more 12-round fights. So he fought more better guys than anyone I had.
He fought Bobby Thurman twice.
Yeah. But, he fought a lot of very good people. Mm-hmm. Fought a lot of people that he wasn't supposed to beat. And he ends up beating them,
But he seemed to have, like, when you speak of Leo Laux,
Yeah.
Leo's incredible. He's an incredible karate guy. And his accuracy and speed are insane.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, kick you in the cheek, he could kick you in the cheek, or pick a spot and he'll hit it. But Martin didn't have that, but he had, in what I saw, just a natural pivot.
Yeah.
The guy could hook like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, how can I put it? When it comes to him, it was his work ethic that made him. Because most people, when they start a fight, they're up here, and as time goes on, they start going this way. Freely was the complete opposite. He was down here, which was his normal speed, and by the end, he's here. He's accelerating. So as the fight wore on, he had an advantage. I remember a gentleman from Detroit named Albert Moore always said, "Oh, I'll kill Freely. I'll kill him. He doesn't look that good." After Freely beat him, he walked up to me and he said, "Jim, he's a lot better than he looks." Because he's a worker. He's got the lunchbox and he goes to work, and you're getting 8 hours of work out of him. He don't slack off during the 8 hours. Then he goes home. Starts the next day the same way.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting. And you just had lunch with me the other day.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, man, I'd love to have seen him.
So what made him different? Sorry. What made that in him?
Well, I used to call him the Michelin Man.
Okay.
Because if you ever looked at the Michelin Man, the tires used to be
Yeah.
really big. Well, now the Michelin Man has slimmed down, right? And,
Yeah, when Martin entered the club, he was a
220.
yeah, he was overweight, and he was hoping to get in shape, and he did.
He fought in every weight, from heavyweight to middleweight,
Yeah,
from 220 to 160.
and became one of the best in the world.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow, yeah,
I see. So he was a big boy. I remember you
yeah.
talking about him for sure.
We used to spar, and I'd hit Martin, and my brother Greg also kickboxer, gym trained,
Yeah.
would hit Martin, and then one day at Kill Night, the last black belt class before Christmas, we were all in the ring drinking beers with our boxing gloves on, and Martin was there. So everybody was yelling, "Martin, Randy, Martin, Randy." So we got in the ring, and I took a sip of beer with my boxing gloves on.
Right. Yeah.
And Ronnie hit the clock, and Martin comes out of the corner, and he touches my glove, and he goes, "Randy, I've got a good memory." He's going to knock me out. Anyway.
It was interesting. For me, it's been a really interesting path to travel.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I was always one of the lucky ones. Because I trained people from Toronto, from Hamilton, from London, had people come from Detroit,
Well, yeah, okay. So what people don't realize up to this point of the podcast, Jim, is that back in the 80s, television announcers on Wide World of Sports and ESPN would call you the doctor. What people don't realize is that back in the 80s, during the Professional Karate Association heyday, following the Bill Wallace, Jeff Smith, Joe Louis, Isaias Duenas championships, you were the man.
Yeah.
Don't be.
I never looked at it. Randy, to be quite honest, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, but brother.
I was interested in learning.
Yes.
It's just like when people say about cuts. I could tell you how the guys in the 40s were doing lacerations, you know what I mean? Using tea leaves, using all sorts of different chemicals, like muslin solution, which you had to literally scrape out of the wound, and it was iron.
Like to close the cut.
Yeah, to close the cut. Then you have adrenaline, you have all sorts of different blends. Now they just make it adrenaline 1/1000, I used to mix mine,
Let's go through it.
just,
Andrew wants a recipe.
Yeah. I just want to. Yeah, I want to know what you did.
Well, what I did was you can buy the natural form of adrenaline.
Okay.
So I used to put salt in it. Now, it seemed to work,
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Salt.
yeah. Or I used Whitehead's varnish, which was a topical solution. So it was like a Band-Aid.
Okay.
It came out and it was black in color. So a lot of times they'll see a black mark and they think it's a bruise. No, it was the topical solution to close the wound. So you use the adrenaline. Then after you do that, coagulate it. Then you take the Whitehead's varnish and you just put it on, and off you go.
And you have 60 seconds.
Yeah, sometimes that 60 seconds seems like forever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't seem like any time at all.
Yeah. For those listening, 60 seconds is what's between rounds.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, okay, so I find this fascinating that, like, I didn't know a lot of your Toronto history.
Yeah.
And that's really nice that Monty let you train out of his club. And then, so Leo Lokes came to you, like he found you?
Somebody told him to come to me.
Okay.
So,
And then so you guys connected, and he would come up from London.
He'd come to
and he would
London.
come up sometimes with Bernardo,
yeah.
and they'd come to Ron's club,
Yeah.
the Scarlet Dragon in Kitchener. And then you would come there, but then eventually you just moved to Kitchener.
Yeah, I just moved because it was too much.
Right.
I had by this time I'd collected so many people to work with
Yeah.
that it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like drive there and drive home, drive there and drive home. And a lot of times I didn't even go home. I just slept at somebody's place, on a couch, like I was couch surfing,
Right.
you know.
Like, talk about dedication to the fight game, eh?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome.
But I was fortunate because I was one of the first guys.
Yes.
And I was fortunate I had some good friends like Mick and Martin McNamara.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only guy outside of them that ever taught at their club. I didn't teach their students, but had a place to come. Like Monty, he let me come on Eglinton Avenue. Like I had places to go in Hamilton. Like it's just crazy the number of places I went. You know, people say, "Oh, come, you can train here." Like right now, I train in Waterdown. The guy just gave me a key, and every Sunday we go
In
home.
Waterdown?
Yeah,
Where's Waterdown?
It's Highway 5 there.
Oh.
Just past 6.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Waterdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it a karate school?
it's well, it was, but now they teach MMA like jiu-jitsu.
Of course they do.
So
Everybody does.
every Sunday, I go there, and I've done it for years. The guy just gave me a key,
That's awesome.
It's
open
awesome.
the door, go in.
That's awesome. I love the trust. It's awesome.
And you just hit a heavy bag, or what do you do?
Oh, we do a lot of different things. We do
yeah?
focus pads.
But you're training kickboxing.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
So I have the same person who I had 19 years ago still training with me.
Really?
And it was the idea when he quit, I was going to quit. He said, no.
He hasn't quit.
Quit.
And then everybody wants to give me more people, and I'm not into training more people because
Right.
it's a lot of work.
It is.
You know, it's not like you go. Somebody says, "How long are your classes?" And I says, "They end when they end.
Hell yeah.
It's not like it's an hour and that's it."
God, that's a good answer.
Yeah, man.
You know, that's what they told me for years, and that's what I believed. But I was fortunate right from the beginning. I had people along the way that I learned a lot from. Maybe not about kickboxing, about how people succeed. Like Vint Cacciazola taught me something. The young lady, Lynn, she taught me about grinding. She said, "This is how you get ahead." And when she was in high school, she told me she did well because she worked at it. And she told me there were smarter people. So you take that idea that
Hell yeah, man.
there's a grinder, and there's another kid that's pretty good, you know. And then you take Kenny Clark, who was, I love to say this about him, maybe I shouldn't, but he was a bully. He was a bully. He used to work in a bar, and he used to tell me all the things that happened, and I look at him and go, can't do those things. But, you know, so that was the three people that basically influenced me most of all,
It's nice to hear.
you know.
Wow.
I always like to remember my friends along the way, you know, like Ron. Ron was a great manager,
Yeah, he was.
you know, did a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was a bit of a pioneer
yeah.
in the kickboxing world.
Well, thank God for him, and because through him, he made a lot of connections, so that gave us a lot of places to fight,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah.
Because to fight in Ontario was very difficult.
I remember.
Difficult. And then you have to travel so far, like you go to Montreal, or you go to New York City, or you go to Wisconsin, or you go to Detroit. We fought quite a bit in Detroit.
Yeah, we did. In Rochester, Michigan.
Yeah, Rochester, with Carrie
with
Root.
Carrie Roop.
Yeah. So that was the way it worked for most of us,
Yeah.
you know. But I enjoyed every moment of it. There was days where I wanted to kill people, but they still talk about it, telling me I'm a mean
I think
guy.
I saw you those days.
They tell me I'm mean, and I say, no, I wasn't mean. You know, it's like this. I always said, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you have to hear. And I'm not always right. But,
But Jim, you usually were.
well, you know, the most important thing is never go anywhere to lose. That's all you got to remember. If you think you're going to lose, don't bother going. It's a long ride.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
I can remember one time going to New York City. There was we had 5 gentlemen fighting. 4 of them won and 1 lost. It was the quietest ride home from New York City I ever spent in a car.
Ah, man.
Nobody said anything.
Yeah, I bet. That's weird, eh?
Yeah, because here's four
Four
guys
winners
win
there.
and one guy doesn't. Nobody's just quiet.
That's crazy.
And I didn't believe it. Nobody talked. Just sat there like,
Do you remember?
Still-
Do you remember who those guys were?
no, not offhand, because there was a lot of,
I didn't want to embarrass
Yeah, there's
anybody.
been a lot of people. A lot of people.
you have a lot of people come and go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Especially in this world.
I remember going to a fight once where we fought at night, and then the next day we all fought in a tournament. And I was kickboxing, and my trainer in the corner, Dr. Jimmy Fields, decided that my hair was too long and was in my eyes, and I was sweating. And then when I sat down on the chair, Jimmy took his surgical scissors and decided to cut my bangs. And and then the next day, my hair is dry, and my hair. Oh, I should put this picture up. My hair went on an arc like this. Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah. Have you ever cut anybody else's hair in
No.
in the ring?
No, it never had to. That wasn't good for you.
No, it's funny.
Yeah, no, it did a lot of things. Did a lot of things that weren't really bright,
Okay,
because it was trial by error.
sure.
So you're trying to learn as you go, and there's no one to show you.
Yeah, but when you're pioneering in a sport,
Yeah.
absolutely, trial and error.
I remember one time I wrote this gentleman named Ralph Citro. He's a cut man in boxing, pretty well famous. And I wrote him thinking, oh, he might tell me what to do. No, not in the world. They're not going to tell you their trade secrets because you might take their job.
Right. That makes sense. It's like in any industry.
How I found out through my doctor, who knew Dr. Greenberg, who did Clyde Gray and Joe Chaballo. They used him as a cut man. That's how I found out a little about
Oh, cool.
the remedies they used.
Right on.
You know,
I remember George used to come to our fights.
yeah.
He used to come and sit beside me at ringside at the kickboxing. And then Clyde Gray, Clyde was pretty good with kickboxing. He was all right, allowing
Good
it.
boxer. Good boxer.
Oh,
Very
a
good
great boxer.
Yeah. Very
But when he
good boxer.
became the Ontario athletic commissioner,
Yeah.
he allowed us to kickbox.
Yeah.
It's when Ken Ayashi came in and it changed all.
Well, Ken had to go by a
Yeah.
book. It's
Yeah.
like he's doing a job, It's like anything else you do. If this is what they want you to do, this is what you do. It's like me. When I think about when they banned kickboxing.
Right.
Now,
They put a 3-month moratorium on it,
Oh, yeah.
which lasted 3 years.
Yeah. And then you look at all the doctors like Hudson, like Schwartz, like Bruce Kidd, Kenny. None of them were kickboxers. And Robert Algie, who was the minister.
Right.
It was all political.
Yeah, they claimed that we could kick 100 times more powerful than we could punch. And we proved scientifically that if that were true, you'd literally be kicking the heads off the human body.
I was told that a kick at a 90-degree angle and a punch at a 90-degree angle is the same amount of force. It sounds crazy. One is slower with greater weight.
Right.
One is quicker with less weight.
Ah. Yeah.
So what they lacked in mass, they gained up in speed.
Right.
And the reverse the other way.
Right.
So,
But I always contended, why would I want to throw my foot 6 feet high when I can just punch straight through?
got to kick them in the leg or the waist.
Yeah, totally.
Not everybody can kick to the head that well.
Yeah. So what do you? Well, that's the truth. Which is interesting because I just recently watched the original 1974
Four?
with Jeff Smith and Wally Slokey.
And Isaiah Duenas was the
And
lightweight
Isaac-
champion.
Yep.
Bill Wallace was the middleweight champion.
Yep. And Jeff Smith
was the light heavyweight.
and Joe Louis.
Joe Louis was the heavyweight.
Absolutely.
Most people wouldn't know that.
What's the original 1974?
That's when the PKA
that-
got started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Mike Anderson?
No,
And then Don and
Don
Judy
Cor-
Klein?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That was when the PKA first started.
yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to just say it. They were horrible.
Well, the rules weren't established.
Yeah. Just their, martial arts karate technique was fine. Let's get real. But when you're fighting with someone else, just they were very sloppy. They really back then.
Yeah, but
and it evolved.
the difference is they didn't learn to coordinate their hands and feet together.
Right.
Because either one guy was a kicker or one guy was a puncher.
Right.
When they punched, they didn't punch multiple times. They punched 1-2 punches.
Yeah.
Where today's generation, they can box well, they can kick well.
Yes.
And I'll tell you the truth, I think a lot more of them are athletic.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a younger group starting at a younger age, developing quicker. They have access to such information. The only difference is you can be overwhelmed with that information because you end up trying too many things. You've got to have a plan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got to have a plan. There's some things, and what you can do is, as you're training, you can have one method, and then all of a sudden the training becomes a little routine and boring. Take one thing out and put something else in to make it sound like it was different.
Right.
So you're always trying to fool them, or at least I was. So it makes it interesting, But we had a regiment. We did certain things every day, and we sparred all the time. Every day we come in, we spar.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the way you learn the most.
What were you doing over and over again?
Kicking and punching,
Just kicking and punching.
slipping, learning how to block. The one thing that we didn't do a lot of running and moving. We were more hunters. We were always chasing.
Like
Okay.
in the ring.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Just always chasing, always applying pressure. The idea was even when you weren't doing something, to be in front of the person and make him feel like he's under a lot of pressure, even though nothing was happening. Just being in front of him.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Big.
Exuding, oh, he's going to come.
Yeah.
And that's a really important part. It's like I said, a lot of fighters, when they're moving up, there's levels of fighting. So as you're moving up levels, you got to keep hungry. You always got to be the hunter. The problem with some guys is when they reach their goal, they don't become the hunter any longer. They become the prey. So when you get to the top, you got to remember, those 99 or 100 guys that are beneath you are all hunting for you. So you got to be the guy sitting in the tree with the big gun, shooting them, thinking, oh, they're going to get me.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So that's exactly the way I always thought. Always run, never look behind. Just keep going. You see something better, use it. So it's such an important thing. You take a free LA, basic, but solid.
100%.
Solid. Not a big puncher, but just could outwork you.
Yeah.
25 years old.
Yeah. I'm really jealous that you had lunch with them the other day.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, it would be great.
They all told me I look better than those guys.
You do.
But it was interesting training because I learned a lot. I made a lot of errors along the way. There's a lot of things that I did I question today, saying, what were you thinking that day?
Yeah, but did what did the mistake result in a catastrophe, or did it work?
No, sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes
It
it didn't
didn't.
work.
Okay.
But what it did was I always was good at it. If it didn't work, I made sure I changed it.
Well, absolutely.
So when I watched other people, like I always had boxing trainers as my go-to guys because in kickboxing there was nobody really
Right.
outside of Thailand
Right.
or Holland. They had.
But even Thailand's hands aren't Western boxing.
They're better today. They're influenced by North America.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but then they were horrible. But
Yeah.
their sport wasn't designed for.
Sure.
that type of fighting.
Right. You had the same guy,
Yeah.
two guys doing the same
and,
thing.
and kicking low and in and elbowing. You know. So and it's like Holland. If you looked at guys from Holland like Rob Kamen or Decker or Hoost, they fought more like Canadians, or Canadians fought more like them. But the only difference with those guys is they went to Thailand and they could fight in Europe, and Europe is a small area, so they could fight different countries. Where we, Quebec,
Yeah.
we never went to British Columbia.
Well, we didn't go there because of the PKA, Professional Karate Association. Probably from Winnipeg West
What's WK?
was WKA,
Yeah.
where they allowed leg kicks and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So it was a different sanctioning body. So we did PKA, which was all over Eastern Canada,
Yeah.
and then most of the United States.
Yeah.
So Ron and I went out to Vancouver for a couple of weeks to investigate promoting out there. And we decided that it was way too difficult to promote from a distance. Like, it's just ridiculous to promote from here a show out there and bring PKA to Vancouver, which wasn't going to happen. Which is really fun because we went to Vancouver Island just for a day, just for a vacation kind of day. And when we got there, we pulled up to a stop sign, and I said, look. And there was a poster on the wall for a WKA kickboxing show that night.
Wow.
Talk about serendipity, right?
Yeah.
And so Ron and I went. We were both in jean shorts and T-shirts because we were just vacationing that day. But they treated us like kings.
Yeah.
When we got to the front gate, we said who we were. We're here to see your show. Boom, in ringside seats. We had a blast.
Sweet.
Yeah, but we decided there's no way we can do kickboxing in Vancouver. Not with PKA.
It's good
Wow.
today. Kickboxing or Thai boxing is very good today. They seem to have a lot more shows. The only complaint I have, it's like you have Thai boxing and you have kickboxing. I've always thought they should be one, where one group of guys sanctions both groups.
Yeah, but the styles are so different.
But I'm just saying, now you've got one section of guys doing one way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
One section doing another way. Now, if we brought them together, you only need one group of people to run it.
Yeah.
One president, one vice president, one
Right.
treasurer. This way you have two presidents, two vice presidents. You know what I mean? I just always thought it should be simpler.
Yeah, but that's sort of indicative of martial arts in general.
Oh, yeah. Fragmented.
So fragmented.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fragmented.
totally.
It's terrible.
Nobody's coming together and saying, "Oh, I love your idea."
Yeah.
You know,
That's why when I look at Thai boxing, I enjoy it. I understand their strength. I see some weakness, but they probably see the same weaknesses that we see in them and us.
right?
You know, the only difference is the smart guys are able to transition to both styles.
Right.
Like now, we all kick low. Everybody kicks low.
Yeah.
Like at least I train
Yeah.
low kicks.
Yeah.
You know, so you have that. You can do Thai boxing. The only thing we don't do is elbows.
Right. And spinning back fists. Do they?
Yeah, we do that. I don't do it.
Well, the PKA,
Yeah.
we didn't. We outlawed that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
do they do spinning back fists in Thai boxing?
yeah, yeah. They do spinning elbows. They do a lot of things that we don't see very frequently.
Yeah.
But there's lots of good Thai boxing in this area here, Cambridge, Kitchener area. A lot of very good Thai boxing. You know, it's interesting when you look at it from a sport aspect. You know, I look at someone like Leo Laos, tremendous champion, great. I would say a real fighter, If you want to get in the ring with him, you're going to fight. There's no way of dancing.
Well, it's just funny because I just recently watched three Leo's fights.
Yeah.
Just because I just saw him, a few weeks ago, and I decided I wanted to. So I just researched the fights, and man, he could come from the center of the ring to the corner where the fella with a round kick to that guy's head, like nobody's business. Like it's incredible his extension and reach.
But his disadvantage was he was a bleeder.
Yes, that's true. As a matter of fact, I think that fight he split open.
Yeah, that was his disadvantage. But
Like once a month or just
Well,
no?
well, Blair got it. Yeah, his
understand.
eyes up here.
yeah,
Yeah.
but very, very interesting young man. His whole life's been the same way. Nice guy,
Yeah.
don't cross the line.
100%.
He's one of these people. You're nice to him, he's nice to you. Cross the line, you're in trouble.
Well, became a police officer.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He was on when he was on the Toronto Police Force. After 2 years, he was on the ETF.
Yeah.
Quickest anybody ever got on.
Wow.
yeah. Well, I think that I heard a story once, and whether it's true or not, I think it's hilarious that Leo's in police college, and they're teaching self-defense, and the guy at the front teaching the self-defense just happened to notice that Leo Lux was in his audience, in his class, and he said he couldn't believe. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't swim.
Yeah.
Said I swam like a rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. Some of those young people that I worked with, they were hilarious. I learned more from them than they'll ever realize. It was just fun. I remember certain people have had tremendous impact on my life. They'd never know it.
Right.
They'd never know it. I think back to when I started, how I always felt really close to those people. It's interesting. And like today when I train, because I don't really train like competitive. Most of the guys I'm training now are just to get in good shape and learn
Right.
good skills.
Right.
How often do your students continue running with this and trying to make a bit of a career or something out of it?
Most of the guys that, I shouldn't say guys, most of the people I trained, because there was women,
Sure.
they come and go like everybody else.
Yeah.
I used to tell them, Ian Jacklin, prime example,
Yeah.
the guy was the most beautiful kicker I have ever seen. Beautiful guy to watch. Okay? But he was hilarious. He came one time to the gym. He was wearing something inappropriate.
Yeah.
I sent him back to London.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said, go home. He said, you can't do that. I said, I just told you to. Because we had specific rules, because in Ron's clubs there was young ladies and children and families. So we didn't want any people walking around
Yeah.
with families. So we had sort of basic rules. You could wear anything you want as long as it was neat in appearance.
Sure.
And clean.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
100%.
So it was enjoyable. I'm the lucky guy. Most like Leo trains now other people. I'm so pleased because he's giving back. A lot of the kids that I know, a lot of the people I train now have schools, so they give back to their kids. So it's passing on. It's like sometimes when I go to a Thai kickboxing match, I'm surprised how many Thai boxers know me.
You shouldn't be, Jim.
No, but I am.
Yeah, I
because
get
it's
it.
not my
I get
sport.
it, but
it's not
you're-
my sport. But they realized that I taught some of the guys that ended up teaching them, even though they were Thai boxers.
Yeah.
They did kickboxing with us.
Yeah.
History's everything.
I got to tell you, one of the reasons why I wanted you on this podcast is because I wanted people out there to know who you are. Like, outside the fight world. Like, we primarily speak to filmmakers, stuntmen, whatever. But everybody today in the stunt business is a martial artist. It's crazy how many. And they've got to know. Like, a lot of people that I've spoke to about the PKA back in the day, and everybody's into MMA, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
well,
But they have to know where it began, and you are where it began. Like
Well,
it's incredible.
The McNamara's too.
I get it. Like I get that that's the McNamara's, Ron Day,
Yeah.
John Terrian in Ottawa. I get it, but when it comes to fighting and training fighters, and actual training fighters, you're the man.
Well, I was one of the very first to do it.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize that fact.
And you raised world champions, man.
Yeah, but something? I had 3-round fighters, 3 persons who fought 3-round fights that I was just as excited, even more so at times.
Sure.
Just it's the emotional involvement, the attachment you have with the people. I can remember just going crazy, but I always try to keep it in, eh? Like, even if I was nervous, I try to keep very calm. And I always remember that. I said, geez, if it's 5 rounds, 3 rounds, 7 rounds, it's all the same. 12 rounds, it's the same.
I imagine that's similar in a lot of sports. Eh? If a horse trainer was nervous or upset or anxious, it's going to reflect on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to do that. That's
But you got to also remember
leadership role.
that not all trainers are suited for all fighters. There's going to be fighters that aren't suited for you, and you're going to not be suited for them. There's going to be fighters that don't like you. There's going to be fighters that like you. When you have a separation of fighter and trainer, there's always usually 2 sides to the story. It's not so one-sided. It's like a relationship. Everybody's going to tell you their side of the story, but they're never going to tell you the other side.
right.
So that's what I've learned. So I've had young men and young women. I knew right away, this is not going to work. Not going to work. So it's just the way it is. When Nora Daigle came from out west to train with us,
Now it's not going to work just because you guys clashed.
chemistry.
Chemistry wasn't there. Okay.
You ever met someone you didn't like right away? Just
Yeah.
look at them and say,
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
yeah. For me, it was like I had a specific way of doing something. A lot of them had come from a different environment. Some, truthfully, it was my fault. I have to accept responsibility,
Sure.
for. But so did they. Like Leo left. We were disappointed that he left, but it was his choice. He left, then he realized and came back. It was no different when he came back than when he left. It's the same group of guys doing the same thing.
Right.
Well,
'Cause
But he discovered that that's maybe what he needed.
yeah. Don't listen to people other than the people that like you.
Yeah.
When you're doing what he's doing, you're gonna have everybody whispering to you, do this, do this, do this. Well, like I said, I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you have to hear.
Yeah, and the higher you go, you're going to have more
people
hang off.
telling, yeah.
100%.
I remember there was a guy used to always carry a water bucket so he could get into the shows free.
That's a great idea. Oh my God, that's a great idea.
that is hilarious.
Yeah,
Wonder how you get into concerts.
Yeah.
Carry T-shirts.
yeah.
Yeah. Just a whole box.
It's interesting. Like I like it. I enjoy it. I like the training. I just wish I was younger and I could train more.
Yeah.
Because I noticed as I've got older, even though I'll go and I'll train, it's not as intense. I like that. I like when you walk into the place, you can just feel it.
Yeah.
The tense.
The power and all that's going on.
It's tense. It's like you don't know what to say to someone. You set them
Oh.
up.
Oh, I see what you mean. Whoa, really?
Because when they're ready to fight, some guys are quiet, some guys are loud. Some guys, like Peter Freer, would be down the laneway, sticking his head out the window, like, come back here.
Awesome.
Those are the things you remember.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Or you see someone, which happened a few times, when someone get knocked down in the ring,
Yeah.
practicing, and you hear all these crazy sounds, and you go, I never heard that before. But most of the sparring we had, especially a lot of the people that came from like different places. They came and said, "Oh, these guys spar hard," and I said, "We went easy today," because you didn't have enough fighters that you could go out like and whack them out,
Right.
because you needed them to come back. So you would take it easy. I said, if you ever hung them up, let them off the hook. Just make them work through it, because I always knew you had to keep as many guys as you could. We had guys 126 pounds fighting guys 140,
Yeah.
and they were safe. And it was good sparring.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here reveling in my memories. What a panic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was fun. It's always been fun. You know, times where I wasn't very nice.
Yeah, I remember that one time.
Well,
No, so I'm teasing.
everybody reminds me about throwing stopwatches and kicking stools. That's when I was young and foolish. You know, you look at it.
Yeah, young and foolish and incredibly passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know.
You know, it's great. I think back of when I started, and those three people, I owe a lot to. They might never know. As long as they live, they might never know.
They're going to know now.
Oh, if they do, they do. But I'm just saying, those three people,
That's awesome, man.
one girl and two guys,
Right.
and they were the ones that really set me on my way.
Wow.
You know, one I learned about grinding, and the other one I learned was pretty good, and Kenny Clark was a bully, but a nice guy.
Yeah.
When he passed away recently, within the last year, it was the first time that I had a friend who left this world that I actually felt sad.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah, I actually felt sad. Usually when, you know, life, you go through life and everybody's going to end up in the same place. Some people sooner than others.
Sure.
So when I heard that, I was like heartbroken.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, because I remember that's where I started. Just like when I think of Monty Guest, or I think of the guys that I did karate with. I started karate at 16,
Right.
you know, and I was the youngest kid in the club. Imagine that, 16 years old. Everybody else was a man.
So you went from boxing as a kid
Yeah, I
to
went,
to karate.
and then I went back to boxing for a while, but I was too old when I went back.
Right.
Way too old. But I just went back to do the workouts and that. But it was good, because what you did, you saw what other people did. And Theodore McQuarters, who was Clyde Gray's trainer, I used to always ask him, because I was curious. I say, Teddy, why do you do this? And he'd always say to me, ask your trainer. So I used to laugh, because I asked him all the time, why do you do that? Ask your trainer. And I always remember him walking around with his hat on and his cigar in his mouth. You know? But it was interesting, because the best trainers are the best thieves. And I don't mean it. They see an idea and they steal the idea. And
Of course.
They work that idea.
Yeah, that's in anything, I think. Yeah.
But today there's a lot of good trainers, a lot of good fighters.
Who's the best fighter? Who was the best fighter like a yesterday fighter, or is there one today?
No, I've seen some good ones today.
Yeah.
But like when you look back at our age, it's a difference, because when I look back at when we were doing it, we had some very good fighters, but the depth wasn't great. So you'd have guys, because there's levels. You'd have guys here, here, and here, and then you'd have guys here. There was very few guys really at the top, and everybody in the bottom.
Oh, sure.
You know, like today, you can look around and you'll see a lot of good guys. You know, I watched glory fights, and I was really amazed. Voltolini, he's from Toronto, I believe. Now, I watched him fight a really good karate guy, and I knew exactly what he would do. Don't get him to move. Kick his legs. Slow him down. Put him in. And that's exactly what he did. And I said, that's a great game plan. But then when he fought, I can't remember his name offhand. The other person had too much experience for Voltolini. But I gave him credit, because he got knocked out, but he put caution to the wind. He knew The only way he was going to, at least in my eyes, I could be wrong, but it seemed like he knew that if he did knock the other guy out, he wasn't going to win.
Right. So he was going after the knock.
Nicky Hallstrom, that's who he fought,
Okay.
who is a good boxer and a good kickboxer, and he lost to him. But I always say, I'll tell you how good you are by your first loss. Some guys, they lose once, they're not very good after. Some guys lose once, they're really good. You know, it's just personalities.
Now, is that the difference between thinking that you were already the best to knowing that you're not the best, and that's why you continue? You know, if you think you're the best and you lose,
That it's a learning experience.
then you get taken down.
I don't think anybody, like, we used to have the one rule, never go anywhere to lose, or
Yeah.
don't go at all. That was the rule. That was the one rule we had. But you'll have guys that, like Freely, he lost a lot.
Yeah.
He lost quite a few fights. But every guy that fought him knew they were in a fight.
They sure did.
Yeah, you know. I remember when he fought for the world title, you know, in Toronto there. I looked at that guy next morning. He looked like a mess.
Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Thurman.
Apparently he was peeing blood.
He looked like a real mess. And I look at Freely, he went to work the next day.
I know. I've told this story to so many.
Went to work.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Because they didn't make a lot of money. They weren't doing it for the money. It was a good part-time job.
Sure.
But it wasn't a job that you could stay at home.
Right.
But I looked at Thurman the next day, and he looked like one mess.
Yeah.
Then I watched the film. Freely really, really got hit, but it looked like he did get hit a lot because Thurman was throwing a lot
Right.
and kicking a lot, you know. And Freely fought off the ropes, which in most cases people look at that as a negative, you know. I'll tell you, when you see a guy stand on the ropes and his legs are spread apart, one in front of the other, and he's punching back, you know he's fighting off the rope, you know. But that's the way life is.
How soon, when you start training somebody, a young guy or gal, how soon do you know you got a champ in your?
You don't know.
You don't.
Sometimes there's diamonds in the rough. There's like Freely, if you would think someone 25 years old would come to train in your gym, you know, at 25, who's my
A little late.
overweight, really overweight.
No, late. Late in time.
Late in time and overweight.
Yeah, very late. Because most of them are like 17, 16, you know. Now they'll start at 8, and some of them will carry right through, some won't.
Yeah.
So you have someone like that who just on sheer desire. And he left a bunch of guys. He watched us training one day, and he looked at what they were doing. He couldn't figure out what they were doing. So he came back because he used to train with these French guys. And they were mad because he left. But it was good for us because we ended up with a very good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a good person to top it all.
Great person. Yeah.
Really good person.
100%.
You know, and most of the kids I had were from the street.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, they were from the street, but good kids. You know, really good kids. They were disciplined. Like if I told them something, they listened. They probably listened more to me than they did their own parents. You know. But that was the interesting part about it. I'd go back and do it all over again.
Fucking right, man.
You know, for some people. Like I think back of Monty and going to his gym on Eglinton Avenue, and it's there was a lot of Jamaicans there at the time on Eglinton Avenue. That's where a lot of them we used to go there. Or when Benny said to me one day, "Jim, don't practice anything you wouldn't use." I said, "Okay."
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he told me. I've always carried that. Don't practice anything you wouldn't use.
Sorry, I love that.
You know, so these are the things that we've learned along the way. You know, and I was fortunate. I trained in karate. I trained with very good guys. I trained with some of the very best guys.
Yeah, you named a bunch of them already.
Yeah. Well, one of
A lot of them.
like the guy that I I would say is sort of the guy I looked up to most was this gentleman by the name of Tony Fassetti,
Okay.
best martial artist
I know the name. I don't know Tony.
at the best martial, you know. And there's Wally, there was Ted Martin, there was a lot of good guys, you know. But when I looked at him, he was a real karate guy to me. You know, it's like most guys don't know that Mick and Martin, you know, they were brown belts in karate. Most people wouldn't know that. And then they went to Hung Luk to learn kung fu.
Right.
And they ended up teaching there.
Right.
You know, so it was always interesting. It's a strange group because you grow up with them all, so you basically knew everybody because it was a small group.
A small community.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So you knew them all. You know, like George Sylvain.
George Sylvain.
Yeah. You know, like all these people that you forget along the way.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you to see how much it's grown? I mean, fighting is.
I'm happy it's
huge.
growing. I'm very happy. I'm ecstatic.
It's everywhere you go.
I'm ecstatic. I look at some of the Thai boxing that I went to a couple shows and I was just thrilled. You know, it's not the thing I did, but I look at the art aspect of it.
What do you think of the MMA stuff?
I think it's good, but they're underpaid.
Well,
Underpaid,
Fight's
yeah.
always been underpaid, other
They're
than
terribly underpaid.
yeah.
You know, if those guys fought the same way as in boxing, they'd get a lot more. You know, like guy making 20,000, 30,000. You know, for a main event when they got.
Yeah, 30,000 people in an arena.
You think Mayweather's way overpaid or what?
No, whatever you get in the end, you deserved. Because 90% of the boxers don't make money, only 10%. You only hear about the 10% that make it. You know, if you don't have a promoter and a good manager, you're in trouble. It's a long road. You better be exceptional. You know, it's like kickboxing. We were always fortunate because we knew everybody. And there wasn't a lot of film on anyone. So it was hard to get film.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you didn't know. You could be fighting the very best guy and not even know it.
yeah.
You'd show up and say, oh, I'm fighting this guy. Next thing you know,
Your ass handed to you.
yeah, like I remember Leo fought a few times in Montreal. I felt sorry for the guys he fought. They didn't know who he was.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know, it's different. You need good matchmaking, a good manager, and you better in the beginning you better have a good job that pays you during the day.
Big time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you can afford your habit.
yeah, that's right.
Well, you can afford to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
To live out the
I
day.
tell everybody, you don't work, you don't get paid. It's the same in kickboxing or boxing or MMA.
Right.
You don't work hard at it, you're not getting paid.
True enough.
know.
That's for damn sure.
And it's interesting. Like, I look at it in my own way, from my own perspective, how I felt towards it. Like, I look back at the beginning, and it brings back really fond memories. When people say, what did you know? You don't know anything. And I used to say, you're right. You know? But I was willing to look. If I wanted to learn something, I'd go somewhere. Like I'd go to Mexico. I'd go, to a gym in Mexico, or go to New York City, to places, or go to, different places and steal whatever I could absorb.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Where today, what do you do? Exactly what we're doing. Get on the internet.
Yeah, go look at YouTube. YouTube University.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you can do that in your underwear,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Where we had to get up and actually move, go somewhere, literally pick our bodies up and go.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's just like when I look at kickboxing and Thai boxing today, I love it. Like I say, I don't like the politics, but that's in every sport.
Sure.
I just want to train. Yeah, like I was always fond of the Dutch guys. Because I always thought they were like us, or maybe we were like them. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet, but.
What's his name now doing all the exhibition nonsense fights?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? Is it junk or is it entertainment? Is it real fighting?
I hear he was a good wrestler at one time. I don't know how true that was, but they said he was a good wrestler.
Certainly a big boy and he does some
it's
work. But
entertainment.
yeah, it's
And
entertainment.
if people are willing to pay the money to watch him,
Okay. It is what it is.
yeah. Would I pay? No. But that's me. A lot of times, even when I watch TV, I'll turn it on and I'll go next station.
Sure.
Then there's sometimes I watch some, like today I watched, this morning I turned on the internet, because my TV's down, something wrong. So I turned on the internet and I saw a boxing match, but I knew who the one guy was. So I watched it. It was a good fight. It was a good fight,
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. Entertainment's entertainment. But yeah. I mean, do you ever watch something like that and just kind of, oh my God. They could be watching something of more, less of the. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it very well, but there's something with more of the tradition or something that makes more sense to you.
That doesn't work today.
Yeah, I know.
Because people want that excitement.
I know.
It's like you go to remember WWE?
Yes, the wrestling stuff.
Yeah, they were the ones that did it all. They all had their category where they played, and the storyline.
Yeah.
One guy was evil, Macho Man, evil. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or Hulk Hogan.
Right. God bless him.
In kickboxing, if you were a Canadian, you know who Johnny Stereo was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was probably out of most martial arts, he's the one guy that everybody knew. They still know today.
They still
Today. A lot of them, you wouldn't know unless you fought at that time.
Right.
If you look up the Professional Karate Association, the last world champion they had was Leo, because after that, they splintered.
Oh, that's an interesting.
They splintered. They went ISKA, some went WKA, and the PKA went downhill because most of the guys from the PKA splintered and went to the ISKA. So, like Leo could have went to the ISKA and they would have recognized him by champion, but we stayed with what? The PKA.
Yeah, right.
Which was not a good move on our part, but we did it.
Yeah, it's a classy organization, and they got the TV, that stuff. Yeah.
When did the PKA start and why?
Well, 74 was
74 was the first championships.
Now that was interesting. You said that, Randy, to me, because most people wouldn't know.
Oh gosh, yeah, I do.
Nobody would know who Isaiah Duenas is.
Oh my God! See, that's this is something, because whenever you see anything, an article, whatever, it's Joe Louis, heavyweight, Jeff Smith, light heavyweight, and Bill Wallace.
Yeah.
So it's those three guys in their stars and stripes. So Howard Jackson was slated to win lightweight, but he lost
Yeah, Isaiah.
to a Mexican lawyer,
Yeah.
Isaiah Duenas. But so people don't know that. And what I would like to research and find, I'd like to research Isaiah Duenas and have him on the podcast. Like everybody else is world famous now because of the 1974 championships. Joe Louis, of course, is gone. God bless him. But no one talks about Isaiah at all.
Because nobody knows. When you said that name to me, I went, oh my God, I could ask 1,000 people who were the first world champions in the PKA.
Yeah.
1,000 of them wouldn't know.
Right.
All of them. They'd say Joe Louis, or they'd say, Joe Louis. They'd say,
People know Bill Wallace.
Jeff Smith, they might not. A lot of guys, because you got to remember, every generation, there's new fighters.
Of course.
Like you and I would remember them. Like it's like the new champions. I don't know half of them.
Yeah, I don't know them either. I don't follow it.
But you look back and you say, oh, this guy, this guy, this guy.
Yeah, that's my history.
Yeah. So, who's Kerry Roop? Oh, he's from Detroit.
100%.
He's a world champion. You know what I mean? Dan Rusco, where was he from? Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. He was a world champion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Joe Corley, where's he from? Atlanta. You know, these are people that you'd know.
Yeah.
You know, with all this world champions that we're talking about, I always like to remind myself that yes, you're good, but you're no Randy Butcher.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, and the T-shirts are for sale online.
Sorry. I'm reading your shirt thinking, this is an interesting moment. Yeah. But why don't these people know these names?
Because it's
It's time.
You ask a young man who plays hockey, right? Mm-hmm. You ask him who Rod Sealing is.
Right.
Do you know who Rod Sealing is?
No, but I'm assuming that he's a badass old hockey player.
1972,
Okay.
Russia, Canada. He played on that team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what does it say? Good hockey player.
Right.
Yeah.
Played 15 years in the NHL. Mm-hmm. Okay. You look at Ken Dryden. I don't think too many kids would know who Ken Dryden is.
Right.
You know,
I'm not a hockey fan, and I know.
or Henry Richard. You know what I mean? These people. But every generation will have their heroes.
Right.
So when you dial it down to just particular movements, whether it's a left or it's a right kick or it's something like that, is there anyone that may be some of the best fighters in the world today with just the best kick or just the best hit, or is there guys in the past that have those still?
If guys, some guys are lucky because it's natural that they have power. Power is the equalizer. Speed is equal. Timing nullifies speed. Speed nullifies power. See,
Right.
there's always advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody said to me, "What's the best punch you can throw? Straight right, or straight left, depending on what side you have forward."
Right.
Because that's generally that's the strong hand, and that's the hand that the weight's transferred from. Mm-hmm. But you need a good jab because a jab will set up everything. Mm-hmm. I like left hooks, so in close, good hookers. You know what I mean? Good. So everybody has
Something.
Yeah.
Something that they're particularly good at, or
some, and like I said today, young men and young women are very talented, very athletic. They're more than just one punch people.
Right.
They have multiple techniques that they can use.
yeah.
Like sometimes you'll see someone kicking high and say, "Boy, is that ever a good kick?" I'll show you a guy kicking low that kicks hard.
Absolutely.
You know, a good example would be Rob Kamen from Holland. When he kicked, it was a kick. It was one of those, either you get out of the way or you're getting hurt. Mm-hmm. Like everything he threw. Then there's other guys that are just, like Bill Wallace, are very quick, very dexterity. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But his punching, to me, was lacking.
Yeah, but having said that, he was also one of the better boxers at the time.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, like he left, as John A's was rising, he left.
Yeah.
You know, great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think Jeff Smith was a good fighter.
Yeah.
For what they were doing at the time, like 100%. You said.
Yeah.
Today, the kids were much better today.
Oh, easily. I mean, that's just the evolution of every sport.
Yeah.
Because of the athletics, like you say, people, how they train, the food they eat, the things they do, the way they do. Absolutely. I mean, I look back at that 1974 championships, and it's almost a giggle fest. And then watch kickboxing 10 years later.
Well, nowadays they can harness the science. They learn all this stuff and read studies.
The problem is you can overload yourself.
Yeah.
You can overthink.
There's a lot going on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard of the kiss me rule?
No.
Keep it simple, stupid?
No.
Yeah, well, that's the rule to live by.
And that goes back to your basics.
Yeah. Don't do anything that's you think it looks good. Do something that looks effective.
Don't practice anything you wouldn't use.
Yeah. It's got to be good good solid technique. Because then you can cheat, like I said. You can alter the technique. Who's my favorite boxer? Roy Jones. Terrible, terrible guy to watch. It's horrible. Technically horrible. Great athlete. Great fighter. Here's a guy that works against my principle. I think he's fantastic. There's guys like that. There's guys that are just on you, on you, on you. Then there's other guys that are cute, that just pick you. They don't get into any exchanges. They just pick away at you. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Then there's other guys, you throw, they're counterpunching. And the counterpunchers are dangerous because they don't give you a chance to set up. As soon as you throw, they'll move and then they hit. Yeah. But I said the young guy, Voltolini from Toronto, I thought he was pretty good, even though he lost. I'd like to see if he's still fighting, because I don't know if he fought after that. But and then there's like lots of them. Ian Jackson was a great fighter.
Yeah, he's in California now.
Yeah.
He made some movies and.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of B movies, did some TV.
Yeah.
Nice. I got along very well with him at times.
Right. Have you spoke to him recently?
I haven't seen him in a few years.
He's on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Huh. I think I'll say hi.
Yeah, he's nice. Nice guy. I liked him. Like I liked most of the people. Like I said, I look back and like when I look at Mick and Martin, I remember when they were on Willowdale Avenue.
Yeah.
I can remember there used to be a little chip store down the road and used to get a fish sandwich and it was great. All these little things.
Yeah, I love those guys.
You know.
We promoted one of their shows.
Yeah. And it's like all the kids that when I worked for Wally that I taught at Wally's school.
Yep.
That was good. A lot of kids. We had a ton of people.
Well, did he went from his original karate school, and they started to
Franchise
for children, like a children.
Well, he did that after he left.
Oh, okay.
After he left, yeah.
Okay.
Very, very athletic guy. Very athletic. I swear to God, if you did something to him, he'd do it better than you the next time.
Yeah.
It changed. The sport's changed.
Absolutely.
The art, Like when I hear people that I know that are teaching other people, I'm always so happy.
He had a partner, and I can't remember his name.
Eric Juergens. Eric.
No, but another guy. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah. Eric, yeah. That was a good time in my life.
Yeah.
A little obsessed with things, but who isn't at that age?
I think that's a great thing to have, an obsession.
Sometimes it can work out to your disadvantage because, in my case, it's people. And people can misinterpret your intentions. They don't understand what it's really all about. But you don't even think about what they think. It's all about what you're thinking. Remember I said, choose people to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about myself. I'm not thinking about the other person.
I see. Yeah. I get that.
Have you ever thought of yourself as a character similar to Mickey and Rocky?
No.
Huh?
No.
Cantankerous old bugger?
No. Not at all. Not at all. I think, how can I describe myself? Temperamental, depending on the situation.
Right.
I'm not as emotionally get upset as quickly. Years ago, I was a living volcano. Like I said, I liked the stress. I loved it. I lived on it.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knew when I was upset. I knew I had people say certain things about me, and I'd just tell my bodyguard, pick it up. They'd go out and he would spar harder. And I used to say, did you get the message? I had somebody else deliver it for me. Oh, we had a lot of fun. It was fun. I look back at the young people that I worked with, and it was just amazing. Amazing. It's like when I kid my buddies now about oh, you got to pay when you lock the door tonight. You got to pay for this place, and nobody's here. You know.
Yeah, it's not an easy life. I think, martial artists, they get their black belt and they want to start a karate school or a kung fu school or whatever. And you go out and you rent yourself a facility. Mm-hmm. But, it's the passion of the person. And now they've got to go out and advertise and get
People will say to me,
retention, what you said earlier, is huge.
yeah, they'll say to me, oh, you did. A lot of people don't know I did karate, because I actually stopped in karate before most of them even ever. A lot of them weren't even born.
Yeah.
But I used to say, they say, oh, you're a black belt? And I said, non-participating black belt, because I don't do it any longer.
Right.
Some people, they don't train for 20 years. They say, I'm a black belt.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just say I'm non-participating.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it.
That I'm lucky. Like I said, no matter where I go, I know I can go to London. Adrenaline. I could go there and they know me. I didn't know those kids
Right.
that fought MMA, but they all knew me.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. If anybody in this game wants to move forward in kickboxing, MMA, what have you, and they do their history research, they will discover Jimmy Fields.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. Because you are a massive part of the fight game in Canada. It's just who you are, Jim.
Yeah. Well,
No, it's just a fact.
I like to think of myself when it comes to the martial arts, is when I learned karate, you're supposed to be humble.
Right.
In today's society, humble don't pay.
No, you're absolutely correct.
It don't pay.
Yeah.
Everybody is out
Sure.
there promoting themselves.
Yeah.
They want to promote themselves.
Yeah, but it gets a little monotonous though and annoying a little bit. There's so much of that. That's all it is. I feel like back in your time, like guys that were, the obsession was just what carried you
But
through.
there's guys today that had the same obsession, except the only thing is, I'll tell you, it's about making money for them. They've got it. It's like playing. My son knew a gentleman played for the NFL for Jacksonville Jaguars in
Okay.
the NFL. Signed a $55 million contract.
Wow.
It's all
And he
right.
said, the average guy only plays 4 years, 5 years, and it's done. So you got to collect as much money as you can,
It makes sense.
because it's going to come to an end.
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, I get making money and all that stuff, but for the fan or the audience, it gets a little annoying that everybody's just focused on money and not what I'm here to watch.
Well, the real guys will entertain you. The real fighters will entertain you.
Yeah, for sure.
They
Wow,
come,
that's for sure.
They come to fight.
Well, see, one of the things that's not, I guess I'm going to use the term turned off, but one of the things that turned me off of sort of the MMA kind of shows, excuse me, was that there was a humbleness in the beginning. I mean, everybody wore their black belt in the kickboxing ring. We bowed, all that kind of stuff. And there was that martial arts honor sort of there. And I've never been the most traditional guy in the world, but when the MMA, am I saying it right? MMA, when they first started, it became somewhat like World Wrestling Federation or whatever, and it was the biggest, baldest guy with the most tattoos. That tough, whatever, loud. It became that to me, that sort of wrestling spectacle, which as a martial artist offended me to some degree.
See, you got to look at it.
Yeah,
what they look
exactly.
at it today is entertainment.
Right.
Like when you watch a WWE, I always thought it was fake. No, they had a storyline. It was a story. It's
a show.
Telling people, yeah,
Big time.
so that you get interested in it. So they could carry the audience from show to show. Everybody knew what Randy Man or Hulk or
Right.
Eric Von. Everybody had a character, and everybody liked a certain character.
Yeah.
It's like in boxing. There's certain guys that will always have a fan base, because when you go to watch them,
They bring a style.
and their fight.
An attitude.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Tiro Gotti, prime example, a Canadian boxer from Montreal. When he fought, everybody came because they knew it's a fight. It's not going to be a sleep fest. You know, had a following. You take guys like Sugar Ray Leonard was classy.
Yeah.
You know, Roberto Duran. You know, like they all had this something special. Today it's like bad mouthing you.
Yeah.
That's what you got to look at. I look at it. I want them to make as much money as they can because I know when it's all over, they're not going to have the same salary. They're not going to have the same amount of money.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I get that for sure. Okay.
You know, it's different. You know, I want people to enjoy what they do. You know, I like the wham bam thank you man types of fighters. You know, like I like guys that'll trade with you if they get desperate. That's like Voltellini. What I said about him, I had only watched him twice, I think, or 3 times.
Who's training him?
I don't know. He trains in Toronto, I believe. But when I saw him fighting, and he wasn't going to win, and I saw if I'm correct in he just gave it. He was either going to get knocked out or he was going to knock the other guy out.
Right.
Nicky Holstrom, if I was a betting guy, I would have bet Holstrom right off the bat. You know, too much experience. You know, but Voltellini, boy, he showed me a lot of courage. You know, and I didn't know who he was. Like I watched him 2-3 times. I said, this kid's pretty good. I watched one where he really had a good game plan. You know. And he beat this Daniels guy who was a good karate guy, really well known. Did a real good job on him. You know, so you don't mind paying. You know, now Glory, you know. I look at UFC and I think I think those athletes are underpaid because it's a monopoly.
Right.
It's one you know, like either take it or leave
big
it.
time.
Yeah, and just because I'm not the biggest fan of the UFC, that those fighters are incredible.
Yeah, great athletes.
I worked with some of them. Strong. Their technique is incredible.
Yeah, and they're
skill.
beasts.
Yeah.
But, you know, look at the kids from London that fought. You know, they all did pretty good. You know.
It's a crazy world, eh?
Yeah.
You decide to go into a ring and get the crap kicked out of you for fun.
But, you know, something, when I think of that, I think, are we...
I know, it's the silliest thing ever.
What are we doing? You know? And yet, like I said, you know, you can see the difference in the fighters. I love Joe Frazier. When Joe Frazier fought Muhammad Ali, I made money on it. I bet him.
Yeah.
You know? Like certain guys you're just attracted to, the style. Ernie Shavers, maybe not the best boxer in the world. Great. Like John Eves Terrio. I remember one time I'm in the change room and I'm helping the guy that's going to fight John Eves. And I said to myself when I'm in the change room, this guy's lost already.
Yeah.
He was just there. He was there to say, I fought John Eves Terrio. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
His name was Poole, Larry Poole. I'll never forget it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just as defeating as it must be to lose, it must be incredible to take a win as a fighter.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why you're there. A grueling task always feels incredible. And the more grueling the task, the better the feeling is. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah,
to
and,
me, anyway.
it took a lot of time prior to that to get to that point,
Yeah.
and it's a payoff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it big time.
And you get your $60 and go home.
Yeah. Well, used to get enough for supper.
That's the truth.
Used to get enough for supper. You know? And a lot of times when the kids fought and they didn't make that much money, you didn't take no money from them. It's just to keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Fucking right, man.
So what's in store for the future, Jim? What are you gonna do? What are you doing?
You heading off to Zeewat now?
Oh, hey, let's talk about that.
Sorry.
I haven't been there in a while. I'd like to go again. I like going to Spain. Every year
Oh, man.
since 2014, I walked every year except for this year and during COVID. But I walked the Camino 8 times. So
What's that?
Walk to where?
the Camino,
What's the Camino?
you walk from France to right across Spain.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Really?
I don't know how many kilometers it is. I don't really care. Took me 26 days the first time.
Is it 54 cents a kilometer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get paid.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I did that every year. And then I walked the Portuguese one. But I didn't go. 2 years ago, I had a problem, but I walked the whole distance, and I was very thankful because I was having a medical problem. I just didn't realize it. I thought it was old age catching up to me. But I knew that I'd done it before, and I said, "You've done this before, you can do it now." But I'll tell you something, it was a grind. It was like a guy that was on jelly legs in the 10th round trying to get away from a guy that wanted to
I
hurt
can only
you.
imagine.
Wow.
I can only imagine.
But it's rewarding to know that you can do things like that,
yeah.
you know.
But Andrew and I are big fans of the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
And in the end, that's where the characters end up in Zihuatanejo.
Yeah, and I've never heard anyone say Zihuatanejo without referencing that movie.
Oh, no. Good place.
Yeah, well, it's kind of been a dream of my own just
Yeah.
to go and check it out.
But you know what the whole problem is? It's like when I go to Spain. In 71, I went to Spain, but I went along the Mediterranean coast
Okay.
to Malaga, Valencia, Barcelona, all those places. Well, I didn't go back until 2014. So you figure the 70s, I was 21 or 23 years old when I went. And when I went back, I said, boy, this isn't the same place. And Spain is such a popular tourist.
Yeah.
It's
Barcelona.
too touristy. Like the Camino Santiago, it's too many people. It's like, I'm lucky because I don't book no albergues. I just walk until I'm tired and I stop. So I can stop anywhere. Other people are booking ahead, but the problem with booking ahead is you gotta be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're always going, oh, I got to walk to this distance. With me, I could be walking along, like, I'll tell you a good one. I'm in Estella, which is a small town, and I'm staying in an albergue. So I decide in the morning to get up and have a coffee because coffee's like your gasoline. Mm-hmm. And then I'm walking by and I see a hotel that's got a restaurant. I'm getting a coffee. So I go and I get a coffee and I buy a sandwich. The sandwich was great. I don't know whether it was the first thing I ate during the day, but it was really good. Then it said reception. I said, oh, geez, I'm going to go in. So I went in there and I said, do you have any rooms available? She says, well, we're full. She says, oh, yeah, but I got one. I says, I'll take it. And she says, it's 100 euros. 100 euros, 150 bucks. Nice hotel. You could never get one like. So I'd walked 1 kilometer that day, not even a kilometer, and gave up. And the room they gave me was a honeymoon suite.
Oh, sweet.
I'll never forget it. They had a swan on the bed and jacuzzi. I just want to sleep. But, that's the best thing about things like that. That's why I like it so much. It's a challenge. You got a destination. Every day you get up and you go.
I love it, man.
And like Mexico. I love Mexico.
Yeah.
But I was there quite a few years ago. I actually met Charles Bronson there.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah.
really? That's cool.
Yeah. Really manly looking guy.
Yeah, I worked with Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
He mentioned you.
Oh, good. I'm glad he did. He wanted me to be his double,
Yeah.
but I look too young. But, and it's nice, all down that coast. But because we drove right across Mexico,
Man, that's awesome.
so it was interesting. Driving through the mountains is not much fun. The roads when I was there, the roads were terrible. Like you look and you're going to fall 100 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew's been to Mexico. I've never been.
I love Mexico. The food.
Where were you?
Usually just in somewhere in the the Cancun area.
Oh, okay,
I've never
on
been to
the-
Cancun, but the Mayan area.
Yeah,
all
on
that.
the Atlantic coast.
Yeah, I'd like to do more traveling. I'd like to go down the Baja
Zihuatanejo.
area. Yeah, I'd like to go to Zihuatanejo.
I've never been on the Atlantic coast.
Well, it's certainly beautiful, but I imagine Mexico's pretty beautiful all the way around.
Like I've been Monterrey, Guadalajara, all the towns there, Brownsville,
Okay.
really good.
Yeah, I've never traveled like that, but
Yeah.
we go on usually I'm with my gal or something, and we end up on a resort or something, but we always step off. But,
That's my whole
know.
problem. I cannot take it. I can't sit in one place anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I see. I don't even like doing it either. You know, my gal works 9 to 5. She wants to relax, so I understand.
Yeah.
But for me, I do want to get off the resort and wander around, look at something,
Yeah.
learn something,
Enjoy
see
yourself.
something. Yeah. Yeah, I want to take something home with me. That's the thing,
It's no matter, like when I go to Spain, I love Spain. I first time I went to Portugal, I thought Portugal was very good.
I really want to go to Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than Spain.
Okay. Well, that helps. That helps. I like wine. I like port wine. Me and my dad, we sip port.
Oh, you can go to Porto. You love
Yeah, I'd
Porto.
love to go to Porto. I like, ever since, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Yeah, on his show, he went to Porto.
Yeah.
And ever since I saw that, I was.
Porto is really a really nice place, but it's so popular now.
Is it? Yeah.
It's popular. All those places are.
I know.
Go to Barcelona. You don't want Barcelona is just overrun.
That's one of the biggest skateboarding cities in the world.
Yeah, but it's overrun with tourists. Overrun, because all the boats dock there, right?
Oh yeah,
So all the passengers get off, and they
Barcelona. Yeah.
I think when I think of Belgium, I think of French fries.
Well, that's okay.
They have the best. That's true. It's different.
What do you got there, Randy? Are you passing me one too? Oh, I see.
Somebody should get a garbage bag, eh?
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning. Yeah, maybe we'll clean up today. We'll see. We try to get that comment out of every guest if we can.
What's that?
Somebody need a garbage bag. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you live far from here?
No. I'm 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
It's funny when I came on my way, I thought I was on a tour because I used to walk from Fountain to here, right, to Paris.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you go here along the trail.
Yeah.
Then you go along the railway tracks.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Then I'd go home.
Thank you.
Japanese beer.
Japanese beer. Oh, we're talking about martial arts.
We were talking about traveling.
Well, I was still thinking about karate.
Well, that's okay. I'm glad you do. That's true.
I mean, have you been out to Japan then?
No, actually, I had a medical problem, so I was going to go and I couldn't go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's-
I hear
that's-
Japan's incredible.
That's when I told you I was walking in Spain and I thought it was old age. It was
yeah.
a medical problem. I was lying to myself. It's like when somebody asks me my age, I always lie. I don't tell them the same thing.
Anybody asks me your age, I'm going to lie to them.
Good. You probably don't even know how old I am now.
I do. We'll talk about it after.
27.
27. That's what I was going to
I thought maybe 30.
27.
27.
It's because you look a little more mature than 27. That's
So
all.
I have a wrinkle here, a wrinkle there. Oh,
Yeah. No, listen, this man and I, we have a history so far back. Hey, Jim, for years. Just
well, you know something? The best thing about a party? The party always started when everybody went home.
you're still coming.
I know,
It's still
this-
on your way?
This phone is just. It should be canceled. It's an old Apple and just don't work. It's got a mind of its own. It's like my TV. I guess I'll have to buy a new TV today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Really?
Yeah,
The hell happened to your TV?
I don't know. Goblins.
Oh,
Goblins.
fucking goblins.
No,
That's funny.
but it's interesting. You know, and Randy, it was a lot of fun. It still is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know.
You were going to say something about the party.
Well, the party already started when everybody else went home.
Yeah, big time.
What do you mean by that?
Well, see, you'd have a group of people, like maybe 50 people. Mm-hmm. When they all left, the last 10 people, that's when the party started.
Oh, fucking right.
And Jim and I were always a part of that 10.
Christ, what a fucking disaster.
Think about that, eh?
Disaster.
Yeah. We're lucky to have survived.
What?
So
Why
much.
do you say that? Let's hear that.
Well, no, just
There was a
drinking.
lot going on.
yeah, just having fun.
Drinking, that was probably it, though. A few
Carousing
beers.
and
A few beers.
we went to all these like different karate tournaments and kickboxing shows. And
Well, the
just-
Christmas parties were really good.
Oh, and the Christmas parties were awesome.
Yeah, they were really good. They were really good.
Yeah.
They were good parties.
Well, you're making me jealous.
No, don't be. Some of us are lucky to get through all that.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know, being a non-drinker now, eh?
Yes.
And I haven't drank in years.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
But I'll tell you the truth. I realized the only time I was stupid is when I was drinking. Because, I failed to think.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, yes. I'll give you that much. Because I wasn't a social drinker. Not in the sense of, somebody would say to me, let's go have one. And I'd say, that's the first lie you've told me today.
Right.
It's 1 dozen.
Well, that's what they meant.
Yeah.
I
mean, when Larry and I used to go to the bar, eh? We'd go there and we'd sit there at the station, eh? Mm-hmm. And we'd go there, we'd have beers together. And we hadn't been there in a while, and the girl says, oh, first time here? And Larry and I started laughing. We'd been coming there for like 10 years, 12 years.
Totally.
See, I think drinking for me has always been great. I met my woman. If she wasn't drunk, she probably wouldn't have said yes.
Oh, that's funny.
You met her in a bar.
I did. She walked into the bar and she kind of tripped, and I said, "Whoa, watch out for the carpet." And she said, "Thanks, tips." And then I told my buddy, "I'm gonna try to get that girl." Long story short,
You ended up with her.
yeah, 10 years later, can't tell whether I love her or hate her or I don't know what it is.
Nothing unusual.
I'm still trying to figure it out. For another
They're probably
years.
trying to figure the same thing out about you.
They absolutely are. I know that.
Hey.
It's hilarious.
Hey, I've never been married, but I'll tell you the truth. I've always said this. I always found it easy to live with someone, but I was looking for someone I couldn't live without, and I haven't found her yet.
Right.
Or if I did, I didn't recognize it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's true.
I hear that.
It's comfort. You get with a person, you become comfortable with them, and then, or you take the easiest way out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the most stressful ones are the ones you stay with, but you should stay with, and you take the ones that are laid back. This is easy.
Right.
Well, speaking of that, my ma told me that she wanted me to give you a hug for her and that she wishes she was here to hang out and see
That's
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say.
Yeah. Mom was always there.
Oh yeah, your dad lied to her.
Oh, fuck.
Whoops. She's gonna hear this.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
What did I lie about?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's true.
I mean, the first day I met Rhonda was at the 3-Minute Deli beside the karate club.
Yeah.
And I invited her to be my guest at a dance that we were having after the karate tournament. So, she entered the karate world immediately when she said
But
yes.
she was a good-looking girl.
She was, and she still is.
Oh, that's even better.
Don't get too crazy, okay?
Oh, but you had to deal with you're the son. There's a difference.
Yeah.
It's like my son. I'd like to kill him most of the time.
Yeah.
They live. My son, his wife, and my grandson live in my house in Toronto.
Cool.
So, somebody says to me, "What's the rent?" I says, "Heat, hydro, and taxes," which is like about $800 a month.
It's nice living in Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice living in Toronto.
yeah.
Wow.
Turn right
Oh my God, what's this?
Yeah, I sure hope you arrive here soon.
Yeah, I've been on my way for the last 2 hours. But, I just look at it. So I went to stay with him for a month, okay, when I was recovering from my operation. I'd never survive. I'd kill them all. I could not get up and go to the fridge.
What do you mean?
They wouldn't let me go to the fridge. You want something? We'll get it.
Oh, I see.
I see.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, we'll get it.
You just walked across Spain.
So they were just being nice.
Overly.
Oh, I see. So you
I remember Jimmy when he was born, man. Like,
Yeah.
he was a cute little bugger.
But, and when I think about it, and then he has a totally different disposition than I do in life. Like, I don't like it. Even though he's my son and I love him, his disposition is not what he's different, very firm, very. And his wife is a nice lady, very nice lady, very nice lady. I don't know what she's doing with him, but I guess it works.
Yeah, we'll send him this podcast and see if.
Let him send it to me. He's probably not talking to me today.
What's his name?
Jim.
His name's Jim.
Jim. So what's in the future, Jim? What are you going to do? I see that you're wearing a Waterloo Kung Fu shirt.
Yeah, but
is that Bob's?
This is Bob gave me this.
Right.
I'm the only guy that gets T-shirts.
Again, Bob Schneider. God bless him.
I get so many T-shirts from people, and
Yeah.
I'm not into them.
You know what's funny about that shirt? Not that shirt, but that club. When Bob first opened that club,
yeah,
he asked me if I would light myself on fire as a ninja, dressed as a ninja, for the grand opening, to get some attention and get in the newspaper. So I did. And Ron Day's son, Zach, was there and saw me do the burn. I think you were there, Blair. You lit me on fire, I think. After all these years, Zach just turned 50 years old and asked me if I'd light him on fire for his birthday, which I just did.
yeah.
Andrew and Blair and I.
Yeah, it was excellent.
But anyway, it just brought back memories reading your shirt.
Oh yeah. But I think of you. Well, you know how I think of you. I think of you as everybody saying, "Oh, what a waste of time, Randy. It's not going to work for you."
Right.
Let's hear that.
Well, when you start out.
Don't
doing
embarrass
something-
me, Jim.
No, I wouldn't.
Please. Please do. Please do.
When you start out doing something,
Yeah.
and nobody else is doing it, and
Yeah.
you say, "This is what I'm going to do." Like Randy always said, I wanted to do movies. He always said that. I want to do movies. I want to, Then
Yeah, man.
Then he got into the sort of the stunt field, and everybody saw, because nobody we knew was in the movies,
Right.
and he's lasted this long,
Actually, I'd like to ask, what was that? What motivation did you have to think the way that you did? Where nobody else was thinking that way.
I don't think I knew. I don't know. I don't know.
What made you look at movies? I find that a lot of people look at movies and they don't think twice about it. They think almost like it's real or something. What made you think that?
Well, I mean, the long and short is that when I was a kid, my generation, Jim's generation, was the first generation born into a family with moving pictures. My parents had radio. We had television when we were children. So when I discovered what those people were doing on that black and white TV was actually a job. You could pretend to be a cowboy, or you could pretend to be an army man.
But somebody told
I
you
just
that.
decided I wanted to do that.
Somebody said that you can do that though, or you found that out somehow.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea how I found out. But then again, as Jim said earlier, when he was learning fight training, he actually had to go places and ask questions, go to the library, go to the gym, ask that guy. I did the same thing. I actually got on the phone book and phoned Hollywood and asked questions. It's the weirdest thing. You know, you'd find a stunt performer and you'd ask him a question. But today you have behind the scenes on DVDs and you can go on the internet, but I couldn't do that. I don't know. I just did that as a kid. That was kind of a inside my heart dream. And I just decided I would do it and not give up.
It just made me laugh. My cousin phoned the Kremlin.
The Kremlin? Because you wanted to be the president of Russia? Oh my God.
It's the truth. True story. When you said that, I thought,
Phone the Kremlin. What did he do that for?
I don't know. I think he was drunk.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's just a prank call.
Can I speak to Boris?
Oh my God.
That's funny.
It was-
Hilarious.
But that's what we did when we were younger. We actually had to go physically and speak to people.
Well, I think that there are people like that today. I mean, you see these people that are amped like that. But you know, in a day where it was different, man. Like that's for both of you guys. It's pretty impressive stuff.
I think the best thing about yesterday was communication. Today, it's a phone,
Yeah.
iPad.
Yeah.
My grandson
You
goes
taking
to
selfies?
online school, eh?
Yeah.
Like he's never been to a regular school.
Yeah.
And I think that's terrible because
That is the future. Online. Online's the future.
Is it?
Yeah, 100%. Digital everything. Yeah. You know what they want to do? I mean, I don't know, but they're going to take instead of 1,000 math teachers teaching math, they're going to take the best math teacher that there is, put them online, and teach to everybody. You know, that sort of thing. But what you get missing is guys like you, who have a certain. There's a reason Jimmy Fields. There's many trainers out there, but there's a reason for you specifically. And there are guys out there that they had the choice between 10 of them. They might choose you, or they might choose them because of the way they work. You know, and I mean we're gonna lose that 100% because of digital.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say because that's why when I think of the martial arts, I like the fact that there's such a great variety of people training other people. Not all trainers are good trainers. You know, a lot of them aren't. But there's a lot of very good ones. It's hard to distinguish what's good and what's wrong. But some guys that aren't very good will get a lot of good results from people.
That aren't very good.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so we've talked a lot about what makes a good fighter, what makes a good trainer, and what makes a guy like that actually help a fighter become something great if he's not that great a trainer.
When I started, there was always guys better than me where I trained. Always guys better. Mm-hmm. But technically, I was better than all of them. So each person has a strength. You just have to develop that strength. I realized I wasn't the best fighter, but technically, I was superior to them. But it didn't help me in fighting, but it helped me in looking at things.
Yeah.
Like I'm still today, I can drive by a house and I'll look at the guy's lawn and I can tell you when the last time he cut it.
All right. Just
Because I'm a detail guy. I look at little things.
You observe.
Yeah. Things, I remember a friend of mine came from the States and he watched me teach a karate class. And he says, how do you see all that? I says, there's just so many people you have to look. You look, you're observant.
Do you have to have been hit to be a trainer?
Well, I think everybody's, no, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. There'll probably be people that disagree with me.
It's a good question.
Guys that will. Look, if I take you, you're an say you're a plumber, right? Mm-hmm. You've never plumbed. You've never taken a wrench and nothing. I said, okay, I'm going to take you and you're going to be my apprentice. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I take you and I give you small chores to do. Well, go down there and dig a hole. First step, you go down, you dig a hole. I says, okay, now you're going to lay a pipe in there. Then you lay the pipe, and I said, okay, you're going to fasten it like this. And I show you, and I lead you all the way through. And as time goes on, you go from digging a hole to laying the pipe to being on the job alone. Because you've been taught all the way along the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the same as in football. There's a lot of great football coaches never played professional football.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I mean, there's a lot of architects that never laid brick.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
But you school a person, you teach them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't be scared to make an error. Don't be scared. It's just part of living. Learn from it. You know, that's the way I look at it. If you make an error, oh sure, I might get upset at you if you do it 2 or 3 times in a row because I think you're just brain dead. But you know,
But so in some ways, you're more of like a philosopher who sort of understands these things and knows how to navigate the rules and.
you have to be. You have to know how to read people. Like I said, not all trainers are suited for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like not all fighters can work together. You want to. If you have a combination that works. Growing up, you meet a lot of people along the way. Eh? Some people you get along with tremendously well, right?
Yeah.
And then you leave. For some reason, you leave and go in a different direction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same when you're teaching kickboxing. You meet people, you go along, you learn, and then you branch off. One guy's good at this, one guy's good at that. Because not all, like I still go back to, like I was lucky because I had kids that were talented or kids that really wanted to learn. You know, so that was my advantage. You know.
Yeah.
And then I had some young women and some young men that were very smart. They ended up being lawyers and doctors. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And that's the way it is. I think some people are meant to be trainers, and I think some people aren't. I went to a store. I'm not going to mention the name, and I bought some shorts, some dry fit T-shirts, and that, and it came to, I forget, a couple $100.
Sounds like Sport Check.
No, it wasn't Sport Check.
Walmart.
No, it wasn't Walmart either. But
Best Buy.
It's a place where if you saw the label, and the label is really small, so if you didn't look, you'd never see it.
Okay.
So I said to the girl when I went to the cash register, I hear that athletic trainers get discount. She says to me, yes, they do. I says, I'm an athletic trainer. She says, well, have you got a trainer's certificate? I said, no. I got 50 years experience.
That's hilarious.
So she gave me the discount.
Oh, sweet. She's a smart lady.
She gave me the discount.
Did she have to Google you and
No.
and go? Oh,
No, she just, no, as soon as I said, I got 50 years experience. She said, oh, okay. She was actually surprised that someone my age would be in there buying some of this stuff.
Right. Yeah. You needed new shorts to walk across Spain.
Yeah, no. But, you know, I like athletic wear.
Yeah.
So that's how I got the discount. And I thought, there's a girl that's got her. Another time, the same store, I couldn't find a T-shirt. They didn't have my size, eh? And the girl went in the back looking for me and brought it out. And I said, this is good service.
Yeah.
Mind you, the T-shirt's $70.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I did that
Part's
once.
not so good.
I did that once at the Black Badger. You met Steph this morning.
yeah.
I went in there and I sat down and I asked the lady, can I have a Kronenberg Blanc? And she went and got it from behind the bar and brought it out to me with a piece of orange, like an orange slice.
And you're like, man,
It's good service.
wow, that really is something else. She went and grabbed your fries from the back.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You know. But it's true, you know, like I was surprised when they did that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And it was a good discount. I was shocked.
I can't wait to go somewhere and say that. I'm an athlete.
Don't try it at Sport Check. They you know, like, forget it. Forget it.
Andrew, you can go with someone and tell them you're an athletic supporter.
You
Yeah.
got to
trainer.
go. You got to go to a store that right off the bat, you know, when you walk in,
Totally.
Yeah.
you're
for
leaving
sure.
money.
Yeah.
It's like I went to buy a Rolex watch one time, so I walk
left
in.
money.
Yeah, I've often said
Speaking
that.
of leaving money, yeah.
So I walk in to buy the watch, and I go to the guy. I says, I want this watch here, and I says, so he brought one out with a black face, eh?
Okay.
And I said, no, I want a white face. So then we start talking, and I said, okay, now you got to ask price. You know what I mean? Ask the price. And he says, it's 20. I says, what's the discount? He says, no discount. I said, no sale.
Well, I'm an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's true. Like, good service is really good to come by.
Yeah, it's rare to come by. That's why it's good.
Yeah. There's so few professionals in the retail business these days.
It wouldn't be good if it was expected because it was everywhere.
Right.
It's in fact we don't expect it. That's why it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, my son used to work for a very expensive retailer in Toronto on Bloor Street.
Ooh, that is
And,
nice.
That's how he met the football player.
Okay.
The guy come in to look for a top coat,
Okay.
but they didn't have top coat that fit him, so they had to have one made.
Oh.
So they got a price for the guy, and they gave the guy a price. He says, oh, I got to phone my agent. Because, you know, I guess they got him on a budget or whatever. And
They're handling them. They're just keeping them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Safe.
Interesting.
The agent phoned him back and said, okay, you can spend the money. But then the guy was going back to, I think he was from New York City. So he couldn't come back to Toronto to pick the coat up. So my son had to take a flight from Toronto to New York to give him the coat and then fly back.
Sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It just sounds cool.
Yeah, well, if you paid what he paid, you'd be flying there too,
Yeah, no doubt.
you know. But that's service. That's the same as when you train someone. When someone gives you money, you're obligated to them now. They're not obligated to you. And most people think when you're training that when they give you money, they're still obligated to you. No, it's a business transaction.
See, this is an interesting point you're just making. Because what I find about karate schools is that well, not me, but the student pays to become a member, but that he's still expected to be obligated to the instructor and not the other way around.
Well, the instructor's obligated to teach that person,
Right.
but that's as far as it should go. But
Well, it's a business transaction.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way I've always looked at it. You know,
Now, don't you think that the person with giving you the dollar to some degree has to respect what they're buying? Or is that
when you buy a car, right? Mm-hmm. You pay the salesman. The salesman takes his commission. You drive the car off the lot.
doesn't matter what
It
happens
ends.
afterwards?
It ends there.
Yeah.
But a good salesman will, when you take that car for service or for anything, he'll talk to you. He'll come and speak to you. At least in my dad's day, that's what they did. You know.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting statement in your dad's day.
Yeah.
Perhaps in our day. But today, it's different.
It is different. But people talk to so many people every friggin' day now. Messages on the phone, and there's just always people blabbing.
Yeah.
You know, back maybe in your day, there was just a little less of that. I don't know. Fuck.
Do you know, I brought my phone today because I was coming here.
Right. You needed that lady to keep talking to you.
Yeah. Computer illiterate. That's what I call myself.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I leave my phone at home.
Right.
People say, why do you phone? Guys, I didn't have a phone. If I drive to Waterdown or drive to Hamilton.
Sure. You take a phone.
Well,
Yeah,
now you just sound like my mom. But.
yeah. Because otherwise, you're just so connected. You're
Oh
so
yeah.
connected, everything.
Oh man, I can't stand it. If I was a rich man tomorrow, I'd get rid of it immediately.
Yeah.
I might keep something for these guys to get a hold of me, but I can't stand
Because
it.
we would have to call you and
stand
tell our tea time on Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
My grandson plays football. He plays on a team. It's good, very good team. But he goes to this camp, soccer camp. Mm-hmm. All the kids, they're like 11 years old, walking around with phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What do you need a phone at 11 for?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I'm surprised they don't have it by 8. It's crazy.
Yeah, like
I
why
know.
did they get it so late?
Yeah, 11?
Yeah, that's
Little.
that's true.
You know, it's just like I watch guys that do the martial arts and they stay there for years and years and they're going nowhere. Just spinning their wheels.
I need you to explain that to me. Because I'm on the surface, I'm agreeing with you 100%, but just please explain it to me.
They just keep teaching the same thing over and over. They don't teach you anything new.
Right,
You know, listen, there's the basic techniques, right?
right.
But then there's all sorts of
Yes,
offshoots.
100%.
Fancy ways of doing things. Yeah.
Well,
And
Sneaky.
as a wise man once said to me, don't practice anything you wouldn't use.
yeah.
So that's my
My idea is like this, Randy. I could give you the same thing and do it 10 different ways and not know you're doing the same thing.
right,
Why? I'm fooling you
right.
because I understand what boredom is. It's like me telling you too many times one thing. After a while, you just shut me out.
Right.
You don't listen no more.
Right.
Goes in one ear out the other.
100%.
So what I do is I show you something. I say, geez, now I got to fool him. I'm going to show you the same thing, but I'm going to put a little twist to it.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that. You know? They just think teach you more is better. You know?
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. I've tried. You know, I think that the martial arts is too fragmented. Always has been. Always will.
Right. Of course it will be.
Too many styles. Too many guys.
As many human beings, there's opinions, and
But everybody wants to be an inventor
yeah,
too, you know?
absolutely.
Well, you know, it's funny because when I look at the martial arts, at one time I was probably a little more opinionated than I am today.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Today I just look at it. You have your way of doing something. I have my way of doing something.
Right.
If you get results from it, good.
Yes, I think you still have your opinion. You just don't care about relating it.
Oh, no, if you ask me something, I'll tell you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know you. It's probably right.
Yeah. Like it's like when you know, like I said to you, I made a lot of errors along the way. Oh, some of them I think back and go, what were you thinking that day?
Was it at the station?
No. The station is an excuse for it. There's an excuse
Yeah.
if I was at the station. But that's exactly what it was. You make an error.
Yeah.
Look at in relationships. How many errors you make during the course of a relationship?
Of course.
Tons of them.
Well, I feel like I've made 4 or 5, but I get told I've made 100,
Yeah.
200, 300,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Look at all the friends you've had. Like, you know, I've never been married. And Mick and Martin told me I'd never get married. I don't know why, but just the thing. But you think I haven't met nice young ladies
Of course.
that
Of course.
wasn't thinking, well, thought too much about myself rather than them.
Right.
It's about me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than taking time out to understand their needs
Yes.
as a person.
Yeah.
It's the same in the martial arts. You got to understand what that person needs. Not all guys need the same thing.
Right.
If you can't do a roundhouse kick, why would I show you a front kick?
Yeah, but I have a feeling you did that.
But see, that's the problem with martial arts today. If you can't do the roundhouse kick, they're not going to advance you until you can,
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
because it's that pigeon box, right? Like everybody has to fit into this mold.
I laugh at lead roundhouse kicks people do. I laugh.
Yeah.
I never seen so many poor ones in my
Just
life.
a second. The power. Come on, think of the power.
What power?
I know. That's what I'm making. I'm being facetious.
So, oh, okay. But it's true.
Right.
But yet, I have a young man that I trained was a very good tournament fighter. And he explained to me why they do it the way they do it. I go, oh, okay.
Why?
Why?
because it scores points.
Oh, no, for tournament fighting? Absolutely. It's like a whip. Pound.
Yeah.
100%.
Then we get them to kick the bag and we start laughing,
Yeah.
you know?
I absolutely agree. 100%.
So it doesn't do what a jab does?
Well, no, just a second.
'Cause it's-
Just a second. That's right. It can act as a jab. So if I'm
slower.
standing right leg lead and I throw a round kick like this, and you flinch, and I can come in with something else.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it can work as a jab in a tournament situation. You can bridge the distance between the two fighters by taking that step, rather than stepping. I'm just throwing this. That's my step.
Yeah, yeah.
So it can work as a jab as long as you got combinations behind it.
Thoughts on that?
Well,
Since you just hated the kick a moment ago.
no, I don't. I hate the way they do it because for me, it's effectiveness that counts. I don't care how good it looks. I want to be effective because I know if it's effective, it'll look good.
Fucking right.
Like
yeah.
I said to you, about the guys from Holland. They did their kicks, boy. They're crunchers.
Well, do you not find that about European karate guys anyway? I remember a day when a fella came from Germany. He just happened to be in Kitchener, and he found us, our club, and came down and he asked me if he paid me, could he train for the day? Can he hang out and work out? And he's from Nuremberg, Germany, and I said, "There's no need for money. Like, yeah, anybody, I don't care. You're welcome." So he came and he trained for a couple of weeks. He ended up giving me his hoodie from Shotokan, his school from Nuremberg, Germany, and but his forms, his kata, the power was incredible. So he rivaled anything I'd seen here, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Well, it's like me saying, like I remember John Eves fought Rob Kamen, eh?
Yeah.
And lost to Rob Kamen. And John Eves a good technical guy, good kicks, good strong punching, but Kamen's kicks were just awesome. Like they're the type of kicks where you see them coming, either you get out of the way or you're getting hurt.
Okay.
There's no in between.
Okay, so have you ever been in the ring with Ron Day?
No.
Okay, so Ronnie was a big man, and you would think that he's slow.
Oh, he's not slow.
Okay, so he is slow if you compared, like if I was to fight somebody my size. So I would get in the ring with Ron, and he would actually step backwards with his back leg, like to throw a spinning kick. You see it. You see him do it. And next thing you know, you're flying against the ropes. He was crazy for such a large man. Like he'd be standing there and he would actually put his back leg back because you see him setting it up. And you're going, I see you doing that. And next thing you know, bam, he's hit you so hard and you're flying against the ropes. It was actually fun to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good guys.
Yeah.
I remember when Ron used to train with Ron Leidstad in London. There's Kenny Tallick was there.
Yeah.
All those guys.
You met Kenny Tallick in Kingston, remember?
Yeah, I remember Kenny.
We had a scotch together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a cool, nice guy.
Yeah. Those guys.
We were shooting a show up in Kingston, Mayor of Kingstown, and Kenny has his club up in Kingston. And so we were chatting back, and I was in town, and I said, Kenny, if you can come over to the hotel and have a scotch, it would be awesome. And he did. And he came over and met Andrew.
Yeah.
We had a great evening.
It was cool.
Yeah.
He's a good martial artist.
Yeah, he always has been. Yeah, 100%.
Now, you talked about a female earlier that you learned from.
I didn't learn from. I learned.
You learn.
What I learned was how to grind.
Yeah, right.
Like she explained it to me about her being a grinder. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Geez, that makes real sense." She says there was people a lot smarter than her in school, but she always did well. And she says, I just grind it. At the time, it made a lot of sense to me. Made a lot of sense. Because
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
sometimes you're going to have students that are not technically as good as someone else, but they'll get further. Free LA, prime example. Guy comes 25 years old, no real talent, but a grinder. You tell him something, he did it.
I imagine in the female version of the sport, it's, I mean, these girls come in small and they gotta fight, they gotta be big, they gotta work harder, they gotta grind.
Well, look at Nora Daigle. Tough girl. You know, I used to tell the guys when when they sparred with this young lady, don't treat her like a girl. Don't treat her like a girl, or you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And the guys that treated her like a girl found out quickly. Can't do that. You know.
Are there women training these days? Like, are there women training? Or do women train other women? Do women?
Oh,
train men?
there's probably.
I mean, the cliche is that men train everybody, you know. But I imagine there's
There's
male
lots of
trainers
good women trainers.
There's got to be. It's got to be a lot out there.
Sure, there's a lot of them.
That's a good question because personally have never seen it.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
Watch a boxing match or a
you don't
kickboxing
get. You
match.
don't know it. You know.
I don't see
You won't see too many.
women in the corner.
You won't see too many, but there are women.
Well,
It's not a sport that attracts them,
yeah.
but you can go to.
You see a lot of women fighting in the ring, but when they get to the corner, there's a bunch of
It's
dudes
a guys
hanging around.
That's true.
Because there's not enough of them that participate. Like it's
just
the volume.
Yeah,
volume.
it's just a part of
When
the.
you look at women trainers, a lot of really good ones. A lot of them really understand the mechanics of the body, like especially today because they're so well educated.
Sure.
You know, like I said about what's 50 years of experience, right? And she looked at me like, oh, you mean I've got 50 years, and a guy goes and he's not even a kinesiology student. He just takes a weekend course at the college and he gets a.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big time.
So what's the difference? My 50 years against his weekend? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, a lot of them probably have worked in gyms.
Right.
Sure, I'm sure.
You know, because I don't think sometimes you give enough credit to some of these girls. Like some of the, like I said, the one girl taught me about grinding. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Nora Daigle taught me don't treat her like a girl. If you're going to spar with her, treat her like a male.
Right.
You know, I would never let Leo spar with her.
Yeah.
Because
no, there's a difference.
no,
he would kill her.
he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You know, that's just his nature.
Well, that's the game.
Yeah.
You want to play my game? I'm going to play the game. I don't care what sex you are.
But that's like you say, women. There's lots of good women trainers.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter's best friend, she was a ball player. Mm-hmm. Women like fastball. Good, very. She went to Temple University on full scholarship
Oh wow.
on baseball. You know, so
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, there's little killers out there.
and see her. I used to go watch her play ringette. Oh my God, she could outskate the men. She'd outskate the men. Just because male and female, everybody thinks a woman can't do what a man can do. Maybe certain sports they can't,
right.
but figure skating,
Yeah.
lots of women.
Yeah, sure.
Kitchener Rangers skating coach used to be a woman.
Yeah.
Power skating was a woman. You know, so it depends. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Just that we don't think they can be. It's a bit of a chauvinistic attitude.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
I mean, it's a chauvinistic world. We're all built. I mean, fuck, men do whatever they can. It was almost to get women. That's what I always thought. It's like we wouldn't, if it weren't for women, we wouldn't have skyscrapers or Ferraris because there'd be nobody to impress.
Yeah. They're drawing those buildings just to impress girls.
Yeah, just doing this. Look what I can do. Yeah. I'm better than that guy and that guy and that guy.
So, Jimmy, what's in the future?
What am I doing in the future? I don't know. I just live day to day.
Yeah. Have you any plans to go to Spain?
Well, every day I get up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a
man.
good goal. That's awesome.
No, it's like maybe tomorrow,
Yeah.
maybe today.
Yeah.
It varies. Like I'll tell you, I'll just drop everything and go.
Yeah. But you still have a passion in your heart to train fighters and
Yeah, I just wish that, I don't have the same intensity, like that same get up and go drive.
right.
But I know to train a fighter, you got to put in 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I don't look at the clock. You start at a certain time and you end when it ends.
Right. It's not like an hour class.
No, never.
All the more reason for you to come on and do something like this and share the wisdom to those who are training.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
Because, like I said, in this area here, there's lots of good kickboxing, lots of Thai boxing that's good, lots of.
But I agree with you. Having said that, I think there's a lot of fighters out there who are being trained by good people, but who could be trained by great people
Yeah.
and with a greater experience, and then take them to another level. So I'm just wondering, are you interested in that kind of thing?
It's just like in boxing, there used to be 2 old trainers
Yeah.
in their 80s.
Gus D'Amato and
No, these guys were Brown. His name was
Okay.
Brown, and in their 80s, they don't have the same energy.
right.
Like when you're young, you run a 100-yard dash in or 100 in
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
At 80, you run a 100-yard dash in 2 hours. Like
Right.
It's like it's.
But I understand the passion. I mean the energy, but
you can
you have
can,
knowledge that you
My whole problem is when I train somebody, I want to participate.
right.
I don't want to just stand there and say, do this,
Right.
do this, do this.
Right.
I'll do it when they're on the bag, timing them or doing anything, but I'll hold the pads for them or I'll do things like this. And sometimes I'll hold the pads, and after I get hit in the body a few times, I go, what am I doing this for?
Yeah, yeah.
And I've got good.
I was going to ask you earlier. Do you still hold pads?
Yeah, I've got good. I've always had good equipment.
Yeah, but because if you don't hold them right, you can get hurt too.
Well, I don't slap no more.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't slap because my shoulders are gone.
Right. Okay.
Every time I see guys like that, I go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I remember I go like this.
So okay, before we close this off, have you any advice for anyone that is a martial artist, a black belt that wants to get into kickboxing, is somebody that wants to be a boxer? If you had, let's say, 3 things that you would give as advice to these young people to become the best at what they can do, do you have any?
Start young,
Start young.
good physical fitness level, very high fitness level.
Discipline.
Well, that's something you gotta have. You gotta have direction. You gotta be disciplined. You gotta, even when you feel bad, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the old story. What do you do when you're tired? You do it.
Well, nobody when you've sparred with someone or you've fought with someone, and you're drowning, and you can't stop because the round's not over.
Right.
What do you got to do?
Yeah.
Work through the round.
Yeah, you still got to do it.
But I used to say to a lot of guys that have that happen, they take a passive defense. They try to hide. There's no hiding. There's no hiding. If you have to hide, you're done. It's over.
Yeah. Fucking right.
Don't give up. I couldn't care if the guy ran around the ring. If he was that hurt, he ran around the ring like a road race. I wouldn't care. Because he's trying to save himself.
But just don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up. I'd rather, like, if you were hurt, I'll do the thing. I'll say that's enough. Why? I take the blame, not you.
That's a great trainer.
Yeah, a good trainer will do that. If he sees you're losing and he knows you're going to lose, and you're not,
You
rather
throw
than have you
throw the
quit,
towel in, so you take the blame.
I'd say, hey, my fault. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a good leader though.
That's a great leader.
Yeah, man.
100%.
That's what I learned. And I was lucky because when I did karate, I trained with good guys right from the beginning. Not like today. Like, there's a lot of good guys out there today. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of guys that I wouldn't let them teach me. You know what I mean?
I get it.
But there's a lot of really good ones. Like, if you go to London, you want to go where Mike Bernardo is, because you know if you go there, you're going to get good karate from a very good guy. You know?
Yeah.
Like Leo actually turns people down.
Yeah. Look at
Doesn't really
their
want to train your son.
look at the history. Look at their history.
Yeah,
Do some research.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But sometimes, you know, you got to find a guy that is not that great, but he connects with you.
Well, not every great fighter is a good teacher, and not every great teacher is a good fighter.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to look at Wally and Ted and Tony and them and go, oh, are you terrible? You're terrible. You know, there's like a level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to remember, when you look at the best guys, and you're not one of them, and you know it. You know?
Yeah, I guess you find your fit, right?
Yeah.
You find a guy, some gal walks in, and you're like, wow,
You know,
this is it.
this is a good one before. My friend Teddy kicked me in the stomach one time, and I felt his toe on my spine. And I'm down on the ground, making all sorts of noise.
Yeah.
It was the first time in my life I ever felt alive but dead. You know, after that, I was doing sit-ups and leg raises like nobody I knew,
Right.
constantly, because I lived out of fear of ever having that happen again,
Right.
Right.
you know? And I look at, and I remember, like, you spar with Wally, too fast, too athletic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you sort of, it's like, oh, geez, these guys are better than you, so you got to be better than them at something.
Right.
So you make your choice, you know? Oh, I can remember that day that Ted had me on the ground, and he's yelling for me to get up. There's no way. I was done.
That's funny.
Well, Jimmy, as we tie this up, would you do the honor of signing our table?
Oh, well,
Wanna do
I
that?
can do that.
You can pick a spot anywhere you want.
I'll do right here.
You can even draw a little picture.
Yeah, that's all I need. Oh, this is a,
It's a Sharpie.
yeah, these Sharpies, this is,
Who was the favorite fighter? If you had to choose one in all your history, who was your favorite fighter you have
Thanks, Jim.
trained?
none.
None. Copy that.
It didn't matter. I had, how would I say it? With Leo,
Thank you, sir.
it was a good relationship, but different. It was, you know, it could be two. Friele was easy to train. Peter Freer, I have to hunt him down
Yeah.
because he was everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, Ian Jacklin, just a nice guy, enjoyed every. Joy Weaver, used to call him Care Bear.
Yeah.
Nobody else could call him Care Bear. Well, we called him Care Bear. You know? Ian had the name Fluffy. Like, I couldn't believe the nicknames they gave these guys. But you wouldn't, if you weren't a friend, don't tell them,
Right.
you know? But that's the way it was. I didn't distinguish between the best guy like the worst guy like the best guy, and you can't go wrong,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? All I knew is when we went to a fight with Martin, had to have cheesecake. Didn't matter where we were, gotta have your cheesecake.
That's hilarious.
You know, like crazy things people would do,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
Awesome.
And the people I met,
It's all
that's
about
what.
mind. It's
Of
all about
course.
state of mind, man.
Of course.
Well,
Jimmy Fields, thank you for coming down.
thank you, sir,
Thank you so much.
You don't have to call me sir. Mr. Butcher's fine.
Mister.
Hey, Jim, I love you, man.
That's all right.
I'm so glad you came down to talk to us.
Well, I don't know what it sounded like, but I hope it was entertaining at least.
Yeah, I hope at the very least we recorded sound and all is
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
All right. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, cut it, B.